Good morning and welcome to our program, Making Business Opportunities Happen. Ladies and gentlemen, our program is beginning. If and when possible, please turn on your camera. Again, if you do not have a copy of the digital program book of Making Business Opportunities Happen, please find it in the chat box. The digital program is in the chat box. In addition, we encourage you to remain on mute, and we invite your questions and your feedback in the chat. We will answer some today and others as soon as possible. I am Demetria Peoples-Scott, manager in the Department of Small Business Inclusion, and I will serve as your announcer. Our theme for today is leveraging access to opportunities. Let's get started. Our facilitator for today is Alice Gordon Holloway. Alice serves as a keynote presenter for many national conferences on supplier diversity and crisis management. As a facilitator, she has outstanding platform skills with an active, up-tempo, and engaging style. Alice holds a master's degree in business administration from UAB College School of Business and a bachelor's of science degree from the University of South Alabama. Alice is currently pursuing a PhD in business management at the University of South Alabama with an expected graduation date of August 2021. Prior to academia, she launched her fifth company, Sky Connect, in 2013. After nearly 12 years at Alabama Power Company in corporate communications, supply chain, and nuclear power. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our facilitator for Making Business Opportunities Happen, former veteran and award-winning broadcast journalist, Alice Gordon Holloway.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is a great day. I don't know about you, but I am feeling summertime vibes and excited that UAB has decided to put this program on collaboratively. So today we're going to talk about building collaborative partnerships, enhancing and engaging the ecosystem. This is what today's event is about. You take my echo, yeah, got echo. And so I'm excited that Demetria Scott has decided to continue making business opportunities happen. I will tell you that the vision of this event started several years ago, and today is all virtual. So you can sit in your offices and sit in your homes if you're there and enjoy the presentation today. The timeless dedication of the UAB Small Business Inclusion Department is very evident as they continue to build platforms for bringing on diverse businesses, enhancing those collaborative partnerships, and really building the ecosystem of entrepreneurship right here in the city of Birmingham. Now, today we have nearly 200 people who said, hey, I want to attend this session today. And so before we get too far into our program, I want to let you know that this is an interactive session where you can use the chat function and you can actually do a shout out. You can say hello, you can say good morning. Love to see that. I'm not able to really monitor it everywhere, but I'm sure we've got people who are monitoring it from the UAB team and behind the scenes. So glad you're on, keep it going. If you're only able to stay on for a few moments this morning, or you can go back and forth, we definitely want to see you here. So please be a part of this session today, all day long if you can, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. if you're able to. But if not, pop in and out as you can. This is for you, and it's an opportunity for us to celebrate making business opportunities happen on behalf of UAB and the Small Business Inclusion Department as a part of the UAB Facilities Department. So with that said, we have a little bit of a program for you. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started with our first speaker and presentation today. At this time, I would like to introduce Gregory Greg Parson, who is truly a pioneer in ensuring that we actually have everything set up for today's event. So we cannot thank you enough, Greg. You're the Associate Vice President and Chief Facilities Officer for UAB's Department of Facilities. And we know that behind the scenes, you are making all this happen. So we really are looking forward to hearing your comments today. So Greg, you're on.
Thank you, Alice. Welcome to the University of Alabama at Birmingham Small Business Inclusion, Making Business Opportunities Happen, Supplier Diversity Institute, and Business Showcase. For more than 3 decades, UAB's commitment to meeting the needs of local, small, diverse business enterprises continues to change the trajectory of suppliers in a positive way. UAB's Department of Small Business Inclusion serves as a unit within the Facilities Division. It is our mission to assist UAB's effort to increase participation of diverse businesses across the spectrum. This process educates, empowers, and engages both internal and external participants. We educate our leaders, internal departments, suppliers, socioeconomic communities. We empower our internal and external partners to advocate for procurement from diverse suppliers. We find approaches to engage diverse suppliers in building capacity, scalability, and accountability. The Supplier Diversity Institute and Showcase is a 1-day program that will explore a variety of sessions which will address educating, empowering, and engaging the important work that is being done both by UAB and diverse business owners in the community we serve. Welcome, and let's get started. At this time, I'd like to present to some and introduce to others Dr. Brian Burnett, Senior Vice President of Finance and Administration at UAB. Brian comes to UAB with an extensive resume of experience from the University of Colorado Systems, the University of Missouri Systems, and the University of Minnesota Systems. Welcome, Brian, and thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Greg. I'm very pleased to be with you today. As I was coming through the interview process, it was clear to me that UAB has made commitments to ensure that diverse-owned businesses receive a fair share of contract awards for goods and services. Our Department of Small Business Inclusion staff, under the leadership of Greg, has planned an amazing day of exciting, engaging, and empowering educational sessions. Candidly, the purpose of this information day is to define, discuss, and deliberately enhance opportunities in doing business with local, small, and diverse business enterprises. It's our intention to broaden participation opportunities when making buying decisions and inform suppliers on the various ways of doing business with UAB. Our theme for today in this event is leveraging access to opportunities. Our focus is on economic equality, inclusion, and entrepreneurship. We encourage every UAB employee with purchasing authority to make a good faith effort to identify, engage, and select a variety of different local, small, and diverse business enterprises and make those business opportunities happen. To the local, small, and diverse business owners, we hope you will maximize the value of these sessions through your participation, your sharing of experiences, both good and bad, and networking with your counterparts in attendance in this virtual Zoom experience. Candidly, the stakes have never been higher, and we feel confident in our collective ability to succeed. I will tell you, throughout my career at these various universities, we've always figured ways to move the needle in this regard. And it's part of my expectation for Greg and his team that we're going to move the needle as well here at UAB under his leadership. So we're counting on your success to help us do that. We need your participation in UAB's exciting future. And now I will turn the rest of the program and the spotlight back to your facilitator, Alice. I thank you for your time today and thank you for your interest in doing business with UAB.
Very good. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have an opportunity to continue hearing these great opportunities for UAB and how they can help these small businesses. So thank you so much, Dr. Burnett, and thank you so much, Greg, for the opportunity this morning to speak to this great group. And right now, we're continuing to add more people, so we're excited to have you on. And yeah, love to have your information in the chat. Continue to do reactions, thumbs up. The speakers love to hear how you're feeling about their presentations, and we want to have that throughout the course of the morning. So now I have an opportunity to introduce 3 sessions that are really important to us. If you received a copy of the agenda, you know we've got some really dynamic speakers. And so we're going to get started today with a lady who I had a chance to meet last year. And I'm so excited that she's back this year to be a part of this event. So I'd like to introduce a couple of presenters. I'm going to start first with Lakeisha Mack. So what I'm going to do is tell you about these 3 sessions. You'll hear information about opportunities. And we all know as small businesses and mid-sized companies, we actually have small businesses that make America move. And that is what we're excited about, being a part of this. And UAB is at the epicenter of making all of this happen. So that is so exciting for us to be a part of that today. And so we're going to talk about valuing opportunity. Opportunity is power. We certainly know that as well. And the fact that we want to drive success through opportunities. And so with that being said, let me introduce you to some people that I want you to know and hear a little bit more from. So I'm going to introduce the next three presenters, and they'll present their speaker who will be addressing you this morning. So Lakeisha Mack, she joined the Dean's office in 2014 as Associate Dean for Finance and Administration. And she has a very important role in ensuring the organizational alignment with the School of Medicine in various areas that are very important to the university, of course: finance, human resources, and of course, facilities. She was soon promoted to Senior Associate Dean for Finance Administration in the School of Medicine, but she had a long career prior to that at the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center. She's a native of Long Beach, California, and you'll hear more from her in just a couple of minutes. Next, I have an opportunity to introduce my friend as well, Dr. Dean Jack. Always excited to hear from him today, so you'll hear more from him. He is the Wells Fargo Endowed Chair in Business Administration and Professor of Management and Dean of the Kalat School of Business at UAB. He has a BS degree in Industrial Engineering and an MBA from Wright State University and a PhD in Operations Management from the University of Cincinnati. He is a member of the Leadership Alabama class and Leadership Birmingham class. He serves, as you would expect, on many powerful organizations, and certainly is somebody that when you hear from him and you hear him speak and present, you will know he is certainly destined to continue to help us build these diverse businesses here in Alabama. And last but not least, you'll hear from Mark LaRue. And Mark LaRue will be actually talking about, he actually has been with UAB for about 3 years as Director of Planning, Design, and Construction. His team primarily is working with the Facilities Department and Operation, and of course, he supports engineering by providing leadership for these various areas and project management. Mark has nearly 40 years of experience in construction management, which as you see, when you see all the cranes coming downtown, you know that Mark is behind it. He is a registered PE professional engineer and is a proud alumni of the Ohio State University. So I'm very excited to have an opportunity to present these great speakers to you this morning who actually have people they are presenting. So Lakeisha Mack, you're up first, and then Dr. Jack, and then Mr. LaRue.
Great. Thank you so much, Alice, for that warm introduction. And good morning, everyone. As Alice introduced, my name is Lakeisha Mack. I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Finance and Administration for the Medical School. I'm excited to be with you here this morning and more excited to introduce our plenary speaker. So Dr. Dale Smith is passionate about using business to make a positive societal impact. He is the co-founder and CEO of Acclinate, a trusted digital health company, integrating culture and technology to educate and engage diverse individuals to make informed decisions about clinical trial participation. Dale has extensive leadership experience in healthcare, IT, higher education, and government. He most recently served as Dean of the Business School at Alabama A&M University. Dale's experience starting and growing tech-related companies fuels his inquiry on how minority-owned firms achieve high levels of success. His research findings have appeared in publications such as the Journal of Business Research, Journal of Developmental Entrepreneurship, and Journal of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Dale earned his PhD in management and MIS from the University of Alabama. And so without further ado, here is Dr. Dale Smith.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha, for that introduction. I appreciate it. It's probably was a little bit longer than it should have been, but that's okay. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I want to first thank Demetria for the invitation to speak to this group. I understand we have both individuals from within UAB as well as potential suppliers and existing suppliers. So I hope that my message hits with both of those groups. I also want to recognize, I would say, my former colleague in deanship, Dean Eric Jack. I say former because, as you heard from Lakeisha, I recently stepped down as Dean of the Business School at Alabama A&M University. last week. And so that was my last day at A&M after spending 6 years there as dean. And I will tell you, I looked up to Dean Jack as a mentor in that process. Many of times he pulled me aside and shared with me some of his wisdom about how to be successful in my role. So I just want to so much thank you for that, Dean Jack. And I don't know if I've ever had a chance to really relay that to you, so I want to do it now. With that being said, I'm going to share some thoughts with you. Some of it will be personal stories, and they will be centered around a theme. And that theme will lead into me talking a little bit more about some thoughts and strategies that I think, regardless of whatever side you sit on, as a supplier or as someone within UAB who's working with suppliers, that you'd be able to take hopefully some of these strategies and deploy them in ways to reach better outcomes and better goals and performance. So I appreciate your time. We're going to go on a little bit of a journey. I'm going to try to be short with my remarks so we can leave time, if you so choose, for some questions. I don't like to be long-winded, and so we're going to blaze right through this. So hang on if you don't mind. Should I share the slides, or do you have them on your end that you want to share? We can get started.
I think we do. Give us just a couple of seconds.
Not a problem. I could practice my stand-up routine right here, but we might see a lot of people drop off at that point. So, all right, looks like we're jumping up. So you're going to see a lot of pictures in this. I like to think of pictures are worth 1,000 words. So I'm going to kind of narrate through these pictures that we have here as they get going. So next slide, please. There you go. So that picture is a picture of me at the ripe old age of 18 years old. I entered the military and through Georgia, and was stationed, my first duty station, and was Fort Rucker, Alabama, which was my inroads into Alabama. And the reason that I went into the military right out of high school instead of going to college, which was the plan, was because at about 7 months before that picture that you see there, I had my son. So at the age of 17, I had my son. And so I got married one day after I turned 18. I'm not going to say whether there was a shotgun involved, but we were in the deep south of Georgia. So I'll let you kind of infer that. But regardless, I needed to support my family. And so what was presented as a tremendous, tremendous challenge, right? Knowing that at the age of 17 years old, that I was going to have a child when I myself was barely coming into my own maturity. I needed to turn that challenge into an opportunity, because thoughts of going to college at that point just were out of reach for me. And so the military, I give tremendous credit for providing that opportunity for me to join the military. And it's through that experience that I learned my trade as a systems analyst. And I don't think that I could have gotten that type of experience from anywhere else and in such a short period of time. So I appreciate that. Next slide, please. So you see here a picture. This is my mom, and this is me when I was younger. My mom was 43 years old when she contracted tuberculosis, and she was a nurse. So she was a home healthcare worker, and she contracted tuberculosis on the job. And at the time, I was about 19 years old, and I spent most of my time helping take care of my mom in that time of need. And unfortunately, they gave her drug after drug after drug, trying to cure her, and it was not successful. She actually developed a drug-resistant strain of tuberculosis and passed away later that year. And so that really planted a seed for me that I'm going to talk to you a little bit later on. So this challenge of taking care of my mom and she passing away when I was young planted a seed of opportunity, and I'll talk to you about that shortly. Next slide, please. And when my mom passed away, I went on a search looking for my biological father. And after about 6 months, I tracked him down. And when I say I tracked him down, the reality was that he had passed away a year before that of cancer. And the biggest shock wasn't necessarily that nobody knew that I existed, which, these things happen in families. The biggest shock was that he and every single male on his side of the family passed away from cancer before the age of 50. I was the only living male, as well as my son at the time. And I now have 3 sons. And for me, again, this was a seed that was planted for something that would develop later on that I'm going to talk to you about. But again, this challenge of wanting to find my father, my biological father, only to find out that he had passed away of cancer a year before that. But the big news was that he and every single male passed away from cancer before the age of 50. So all of a sudden, I'm faced with this reality that there's probably this propensity for cancer that exists within my genetic bloodline, and that I needed to take note of that. Next slide, please. So the picture you're seeing right now is the picture of me at the time when I found out about my biological father. I was under a tremendous amount of stress and issues trying to take care of my mom and then searching for my father. At the same time, I've got my own family, and this was the result of it. And so you may be looking at this picture saying, is that really you? And yes, that is really me. Not even at my heaviest. My heaviest, I was about 250 pounds at my heaviest. But once I got this information and I tied in with my mom and my dad, it really hit me that these very challenging situations presented an opportunity to me to try to get my health in a better situation so that I could be the first one in my family to live past the age of 50 by having a healthier lifestyle. And so at that point in time, I took on the challenge to do what I needed to do in order to lose the weight and to drop the weight off. And I will tell you right now, this is a constant struggle for me, because I was up early this morning working out, and I do it almost every single day. And it's not because I'm trying to look fit or to look good at the beach. It's really about trying to ensure that I maintain a healthy body as I move forward in my age. Next slide, please. So I talked about those challenges planting seeds, and they really did. Those challenges planted seeds, and the seeds had to do with really the foundation for our company, Acclinate. And it is really about educating and engaging diverse individuals, and particularly communities of color, on health-related issues so that people can make better informed decisions about their health, and in particularly informed decisions about the potential to take part in clinical trials. And so my co-founder, Tiffany Whitlow, and I, we huddled together when we had this initial thought about this company. And I will tell you, this was about 2.5 years ago. And so we came together in Huntsville, which is where I was living at the time. And we really formed the basis for Acclinate. And we were out there trying to talk to people about our approach to solving this issue. Because the reality, as you might even be able to see on the slide there, is that 40% of our US population is minority and growing, but yet only about 2 to 3% of clinical trial participants come from minority groups. And that's a problem, because we have drugs that are being created with less efficacy or negative side effects simply based upon the fact of a person's race or ethnicity. And so we set out to really solve this problem in a very unique way by integrating culture and technology. And we were out there, we were talking to industry, and we were talking to folks. We were trying to build this company up, and we weren't getting very far, because the industry had their approach and their way of dealing with this, even though it wasn't getting the results. But we kept at it. We felt like this was a challenge. We had to break into the industry. We had to move forward on our idea because we felt like it was going to save lives. Next slide, please. And so this picture that you see here was us submitting an application to Alabama Launchpad. Some of you maybe know about Alabama Launchpad. It's an EDPA sponsored program that tried to spur entrepreneurship. And so you can compete for this particular competition. It's a pitch competition. And there is a concept stage and there's an early seed stage. And we competed in the concept stage because we were fairly early. And you see the date on that check, February 27, 2020, just last year, a little bit over a year ago, we won the concept stage for Acclinate. At the time, we were called Acclinate Genetics. We're now just Acclinate. And so this was a tremendous opportunity because it was some level of validation on the work that we had done. And it was tremendously challenging. And I remember when we left that from getting the check and we went out to celebrate, and I remember my co-founder, Tiffany, was saying, "Why are you not smiling? Why are you not all happy?" And I was like, "Because I'm tired." And it was a tremendous amount of work just to get to that point of validation. And we both knew that there was a tremendous amount of work that we needed to do in order to get to the level that we wanted to be at in our company. And so we were very fortunate. I was very fortunate of the opportunity, but we realized that there were challenges to get to that opportunity and that there were going to be additional challenges coming from it. Next slide, please. And so if you fast forward from February of 2020, and if you think about what took place in our country shortly thereafter, we had George Floyd I think actually today we're celebrating the 1 year, I hate to use the term anniversary, but the 1 year of George Floyd being killed. We also had this tremendous civil and social unrest. And then we also had this pandemic that hit all at the same time. And what that tremendous challenge for our country did for us as a business is that it provided an opportunity for us. It put a spotlight on health disparities. It put a spotlight on systematic racism that exists within our healthcare system. And COVID and the vaccines put a spotlight on the need to ensure that we had minorities and people of color in clinical trials. And so what that opportunity did for us is that it created a tailwind. And it was really up to my co-founder Tiffany and I and the team that we assimilated to say, how do we create opportunity for us as a company out of this tremendous challenge that exists for us in our country right now? And it's through that work and through our platform and through the hard work that we did that we're where we are today, which there's still a lot more to do, but we started the company in the Hudson Alpha Institute for Biotechnology with this office there. We've grown our team. We made a decision in December to locate our headquarters here in Birmingham, Alabama. So you see right there in the picture, that is our headquarters where I'm sitting at right now in Birmingham, Alabama. And just last month, we opened up an office in Washington, D.C. And so I spend every other week actually in Washington, D.C. at our new office there, and we're working with folks. And so what I want to say to you is that if you haven't seen the theme so far, it is the fact that opportunities and challenges are really two sides of the same coin. And the title for this talks about valuing the challenge of opportunities and the opportunities that come with challenges. And that's what I really want you to understand from the stories that I've said to you, please. Next slide. So in my mind, if we're trying to get to opportunities, we don't get there unless we go through some type of challenges. And there is no shortcut to that. And I think that that's important for us to understand, both from as a supplier trying to work with UAB, as well as within UAB, within the supplier division, trying to work with our suppliers to come work for UAB. That is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to bring people to the table, to create new suppliers for UAB, to bring new and innovative products and services, but it's not going to be without its challenges. And the question is, how do you move forward with that challenge? Next slide, please. So I want to talk to you about a few strategies as I close here that I think we need to move forward with in order to do this. And I have a slide here that says, entrepreneurship is a process of creating value by bringing together a unique combination of resources to exploit an opportunity. And I think we talk about challenges and opportunities here. And next slide, I think this applies to those that say, well, I'm not an entrepreneur. I would go so far to say entrepreneurial leaders see opportunities where others see challenges. And again, I think everybody sitting here, and regardless of whatever position that you're in, you can think to yourself, am I an entrepreneurial leader? And if that's the case, then I should be seeing opportunities where others are presenting or seeing challenges moving forward. Next slide. So let's talk about a few strategies and tactics that I think that you can maybe take a look at if you want to be that entrepreneurial leader. And you see this slide here says, well, who wants to change? And then the one on the bottom says, who wants change? And then who wants to change? And you say, well, there's not much difference in those, but if you really take a look at that, there's a significant amount of difference with that, right? A lot of people want to see change. UAB wants to see more diverse suppliers. Potential suppliers want to do business with UAB. But the question is, who wants to do the type of change that's required to get to that outcome? And that's when you see many of those hands go down. So I think one of the things that we have to do is be able to embrace change and embrace the fact that if we want to get to the outcome that we both want to get to on both sides of the table, there's going to have to be some level of change of the status quo that's been done before in the past. Next slide, please. And then many of you have heard of this concept of growth mindset versus fixed mindset, right? In a growth mindset, we see challenges as an opportunity to grow. We see the stumbling that takes place from pursuing opportunities as good things that help us get closer to our path, right? We see trying new things and change as being something inherently that is good. Whereas a fixed mindset sees limitations. It sees failures as reasons to stop. It sees the challenges as reasons to not pursue forward. And I think it's very important that if we're going to be in this entrepreneurial leadership mindset, that we have to have this type of growth mindset. Next slide, please. And then motivation. And I can't say enough about this. This might essentially be the foundation for what we're talking about here. And that's the fact that when you wake up every single day and you come to your job or you come to your company, what is motivating you? What's your motivation? Is your motivation to achieve? Is your motivation to get to certain performance goals? Is your motivation to see others be successful as they try to pursue their passion of starting and growing their business? And if that motivation isn't there, I think much of what we talk about is for naught, because we have to believe that the person sitting on the other side of the table, whether you're a supplier or you are working within the supplier division, that there's a motivation to want to see success at the end of the day for everybody involved. So I believe it's very important to check your motivation here. And then the last thing I think I will mention in terms of this growth entrepreneurial mindset of valuing opportunities and challenges is this. Next slide, please. Is what I call a systems thinking, right? Systems thinking is this idea that we have to be able to think about things in a comprehensive way and not just be myopic in our view of our role, of our job, even our company. And so a systems thinking approach would say that as a supplier, I need to think about how my business and how my contribution adds to the total work that UAB, whether it be UAB Medicine or UAB on the academic side, what is the product or service I'm providing, how does it contribute to their goals? And so there's a systems thinking approach that I think is very important if you're going to have this type of mindset moving forward and be successful in business. So I want to leave you with a couple of quotes that I thought were very fitting for this, that I turn to many times to make sure that I stay in the right mindset. And if you can go to the next slide, please. So the first one is from the Dalai Lama. And he says, whenever there's a challenge, there's also an opportunity to face it, to demonstrate and develop our will and determination. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that challenges are inherently good. And it's because of that I see them as tests and opportunities to define who I am as an individual. I see them as a test to define who we are as a company. And I see that we are not going to run from any challenge that's presented to us. But just in case the Dalai Lama is not someone you really subscribe to, and maybe you're the more of a sports person, I have another quote for you. Next slide, please. And that is from the late, the great Kobe Bryant. He says, everything negative, pressure, challenges are all an opportunity for me to rise. And so Kobe Bryant thought that all the difficulties that he faced, the challenges, the pressures of his job were all opportunities for him to be great. And I think if we think about opportunities and challenges that way, I think we'll all be successful in our own right, just as Kobe was in his field of basketball. So that's my presentation to you. And I'll be happy to entertain any questions or any thoughts that you might have, but hopefully I've stayed within time and provided some food for thought there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. David. Dr. Smith, you did an awesome job. Dr. Dean Jack?
Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure and an honor for me to introduce your next speaker, Mrs. Kathy Bridges Freeland. Kathy grew up here in Birmingham, Alabama, in hardworking economic circumstances, where she was the youngest of 5 siblings. Yet she successfully graduated from UAB Colette School of Business, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in finance. Kathy also holds an MBA with a concentration in financial management from the University of Maryland, College Park. Mrs. Kathy B. Freeland is a serial entrepreneur whose adventurous journey provides a solid foundation for her talk today entitled, Opportunity is Power. Prior to founding her first company, she spent 7 years in 3 different jobs, supporting various federal government agencies in the area of financial information and project management. In 1991, when she was denied a promotion and instead asked to train her new boss, Kathy took a big risk and founded her first company, RG2 Technologies Incorporated, an information technology, systems integration, and engineering solutions company whose customers included 9 federal agencies. Under Mrs. Freeland's leadership, RG2 more than tripled in size over an 11-year period. Kathy then sold RG2 to Computer Horizons Corp in 2003. And after a 3-year transition period, she retired in 2006. So what does a retired entrepreneur do? Start a new company. So in 2010, Kathy acquired her present company, ATEC Incorporated, where she is CEO. ATEC is a subsidiary of Maxon Consulting, both Virginia-based, women-owned small businesses. With annual revenues of over 100 million, ATEC employs approximately 150 professional employees who provide highly technical services such as cybersecurity, data analytics, scientific analysis, and application development solutions to a variety of government agencies, including Homeland Security, Intelligence, Healthcare, and Life Sciences. Now, Kathy has been recognized locally and nationally for her successful and visionary leadership. For example, in 2013, she received the UAB Distinguished Alumni Award for her outstanding professional and community accomplishments. In 2014, Kathy received the Entrepreneur of the Year Award from the Minority Enterprise Advocate magazine. In 2018, she received the Enterprising Woman of the Year Award from Enterprising Woman magazine. Kathy generously shares her time and talents by serving on a variety of boards at the University of Maryland in Baltimore. She also serves on our UAB College School of Business Dean's Advisory Board. Kathy also published her first book, Navigating Your Way to Business Success, An Entrepreneur's Journey, which was released in July 2009. Not only that, in addition to sharing her knowledge and time, Kathy also gives generously to support a variety of programs. Here at UAB, she has endowed scholarships to benefit minority and underrepresented students in the College School of Business and the School of Education. Also, Kathy made a huge gift to help close out the fundraising campaign for our new College School of Business building. Kathy resides in Pasadena, Maryland, with her husband, Gregory Freeland. They are the proud parents of adult twin daughters, Bria Simone and Bryn Nicole, and one deceased son, Richard Gregory II, for whom her first company, RG2 Technologies Incorporated, was named. So please welcome a true blazer who is ever faithful, ever loyal, Mrs. Kathy B. Freeland.
Wow, Dr. Jack, that is an amazing introduction. I'd like to get to know that person myself. Thank you so much for that introduction. I am a huge fan of Dr. Jack, and he knows it, and just so thankful to be able to sit on his board of advisors and to give back to Alabama and to Birmingham in such a small way. But just thank you so much, Dr. Jack. And also, I just want to say, Dr. Jack, you must be prophesying over that 100 million, because I haven't gotten there yet, but I think you just spoke that into existence, and I received that today. So thank you so much. Also, just want to say thank you to Demetria Scott and the Facilities Division, the entire UAB team for this opportunity just to hang out with you guys a few minutes this morning. And just also thank you to Dr. Smith for his words of encouragement. It encourages us all, no matter how mature we think we are in business. It's always great to hear something and learn something new. And being Dr. Smith, DC, please connect with me since I'm here in the DC area as well. And I'd love to get to know you a little bit better now that you have started your new company, Acclimate. So as a graduate of the School of Business, as Dr. Jack just said, that was back in 1985. So you guys can do the math on that. And that was before it was called the Collette School of Business. It was the School of Business. And I'm grateful, like I said, just so grateful to have been born and raised in a small community, just 20 minutes or so from the campus of UAB. And as Dr. Jack has stated today, I live in Maryland with my husband of almost 36 years come June the 1st, believe it or not. And again, my twin daughters, Bria and Brent, who live just in nearby Virginia. So today, I've reviewed the agenda and see all the great things that are going to be happening today. And it's chock full of great sessions. And I hope that all of you will take full advantage of everything that you're going to learn today, on making opportunities happen. And so my charge today is to talk about opportunity is power. And just as a reminder, as Alice and others have stated, the chat button is there, ask for questions, react to me and using your reaction button so I know that you're still there and you're still here with me. Love to get your thoughts there. So I'm going to start, next slide, please. I'm going to start with a quote from Mac Anderson. And he's the founder of Simple Truth and Accessories. And it says, behind me is infinite power. I say to push me forward. Before me is endless possibilities. That is, if I only reach for them. And around me is boundless opportunities. If I'm willing to seek, find, and pursue them. Or if I surround myself with those individuals who are also able to help push me forward and to give me the wisdom and understanding that I need. Next slide, please. Each one of us has a journey to opportunity. Mine resulted from an obstacle. Dr. Smith talked about most journeys start as a result of a challenge. Mine was being turned down for the manager position that Dr. Jack mentioned earlier, a position that both UAB and the University of Maryland had prepared me for. But I worked hard for it, but that opportunity was not for me. But when the time came for me to step into that opportunity, I had to truly understand and realize that maybe that was just not my time. How many of you on the call today have been in a similar situation? If you've been in a similar situation, use your reaction icons at the bottom of your screen. And that lets me know that my story is resonating with you. However, that missed opportunity was the catalyst for the new journey of entrepreneurship, and a journey it has been. When that management door closed, the entrepreneurship door opened. And I had no clue what I was getting myself into. But nearly 28 years later, the journey continues, all as a result of the obstacles that blindsided me. The new journey, however, required that I become prepared. Be prepared for something that I was not prepared for. I was born in Birmingham to a father with a 6th grade education and a mom who was a domestic. They prepared me to get a good education, the best Birmingham had to offer, and that was UAB, get a good job, and find a good man and do it in that order. And so I did just that. I went to UAB, got the best education in town, and married my husband the day before graduation. And I moved to Maryland 3 days later and got a good job. And yes, I'm still married to the same man today. My parents prepared me for what they believed to be the journey to opportunity, but they could not have prepared me to be an entrepreneur. And UAB didn't have an entrepreneurship program like it does today. So my entrepreneurial journey required preparation, which took 2 years while I was still working for my new boss before taking the entrepreneur plunge. During that time, I gained an even better understanding of the market I was supporting. And at that time, and still today, that market is the federal government. And I also had to be prepared and understand where the money was going. And at that time, in the early 90s, that was information technology. And so I remember, I have a finance degree. So I knew the government budget. I knew where the money was going. And my job was understanding how the government procured its services and the goods it provided that it needed. So here I am with a degree in finance from UAB, an MBA with the from the University of Maryland about to pursue an opportunity to start an IT company without any knowledge of IT, without any experience in IT. That tells you that you have to seek opportunities and find those opportunities where they are at that moment. So that takes me to my next point, the need to build relationships, networking, connecting to free resources. And at that time, it was mainly SBA for me. But there are many, many more resources today. And identifying mentors, those people who are willing to impart their entrepreneurial wisdom or advice. For someone like me who was a novice, no money, no experience as an entrepreneur, and no collateral to fund this new opportunity. But that did not deter my desire to seek the next opportunity. It was a challenge, but it wasn't a deterrent. While not just working for my new boss, but training him as well. Again, if that's your story, use the reaction button so you to let me know that you hear me. Because I know and I've met so many people whose stories resonate with mine. So fast forward, it was that missed opportunity of the management position that catapulted me to entrepreneurship and to the seat of power of my own company, RG2 Technologies, just as Dr. Jack has described. Named after my son who lived 50 days. However, with the help of my husband and a team of folks who could see what I was trying to achieve, built and sold RG2 after just 12 years. After a 4-year non-compete, as Dr. Jack called it, retirement period, we used the proceeds from RG2 to acquire ATEC, another opportunity. Identifying the opportunity and putting in the work to grow a company, we used the wealth gained through that to then acquire another. That ultimately charted my own course of entrepreneurship. It was the will and the desire to learn, the will and desire to put in the work, to get to the seat of power, to be my own boss, to be the decision maker, to use my position to reach back and create opportunities for others, and to give back to the community, not only with my time, with talent, and with my treasure. Next slide, please. Opportunities from RG2 and ATEC was a result of having the right thing to sell. Know what it is you're selling and who's buying it. In my case, it was IT services. I was at the right time when IT was on the rise and was selling to the right customer, willing to take a chance on us. That was the federal government, willing to take a chance on a small business, woman-owned small business that didn't have a lot of experience, but we had enough to get started. As a result, we leveraged those opportunities across a myriad of federal agencies, providing IT services like you see here on the screen, including software development, IT modernization of what we call aged and legacy government systems, many of them which are older than I am, supporting chief information officers of several government agencies with what we say enterprise solutions that drive strategic vision. And then couple that with the molecular and microbiology service to the federal government. We say we operate at the intersection of science and IT. That's my story. Obstacle space forced the preparation for something new that resulted in being introduced to the greatest opportunity of my career, and that is entrepreneurship. And that journey continues 28 years later. Next slide. So in preparation for today, I polled a few of my CEO friends and colleagues to ask them the question, what does opportunity is power mean to you? I literally got a litany of thoughts from one-word responses to paragraphs, from thoughts that were strategic and some were even biblical in nature. This just goes to show that it's about one person's perspective. It means different things to different people based on where you sit or stand. If we were in the room together, I would ask you to participate by sharing what the statement means to you. But since we are virtual, chat back to me by putting your thoughts in the chat window on what this opportunity is power means to you. My friend said it means strategic perspective and advantage. One said it provides freedom. Others said it is risk. Others said it's path to building wealth. It benefits others. It allows for growth and expansion. That opportunity is leverage that impacts other outcomes. And others said equity, access, and ownership. And these are just a few of the terms that they use. So opportunity is power. All depends, again, on the seat from which you sit and the perspective in which you have. Next slide, please. My theory is success is 40% opportunity, one back, please. One slide back, there we go. 40% opportunity, 30% preparation, 20% stepping out of your comfort zone and not being afraid to take the risk, 10% luck or position, meaning being in the right place at the right time. And depending on your perspective and where you sit, these percentages may vary. It may be 80% preparation before you get to the opportunity, and so on and so forth. But it's just a perspective. But I am a huge believer that knowledge and opportunity, when coupled together, creates the potential for power. It's not a guarantee, but it creates the potential for power. But what is power? So use the chat feature again to give me your one-word answer on what is power to you. If we had time, we would build a word cloud so you can see the different responses that we all get. Again, it's all about perspective and where you sit or stand. The Merriam Dictionary defines, you always got to go to the dictionary to get the official definition. It says power is the ability to act or produce an effect. In parentheses, I put results. Act, produce, results. Action, produce, results. Possession of control, authority, or influence over others. So position leads to opportunity, but it requires action in order to influence others, which when done well, provides one with the ability or opportunity to have influence over others and the ability or opportunity to produce an effect or result. But none of it is possible without action. Whew, that was a mouthful. But without action, there is no opportunity. We have to do something. We have to do the work. We have to put in the time. My father, sixth grade education says, used to say to me, get up, baby, and do something. That's the only way you're going to make it in this world. He had a sixth grade education, but he knew the value of hard work in order to make things happen. He couldn't make it happen for himself, but he assured that we, as four out of five anyway, had the opportunity to create something more, something outside of ourselves, something that he himself could not do himself. He had to get up, though, and make those things happen. And that's what I've always taken away from him, even to today. Next slide. So to produce these opportunities also requires the active engagement of what I'll call the identical twins, creativity and imagination. Now, being the mother of fraternal twin daughters, I probably should have called this the fraternal twins. Although similar, they are very different. One is an athlete, one is a girly girl. In this case, creativity and imagination both occur in our minds. However, imagination is the ability to think of something innovative in order to solve something that's not currently happening, like a problem that your customer has, a problem UAB may have, a situation or something that UAB is trying to figure out. Creativity drives that innovation. Problem meets opportunity. Vice creativity uses the imagination to not just think about doing something, think about the problem, but to actually do it. Action, right? So thought, action. Einstein wrote, is the preview, imagination is everything. It is a preview of life's coming attractions, the power of the opportunities to come. They both require action. Next slide. So where does action and opportunity meet? Well, when one door closes and you open or build a door of your own. That describes my entrepreneurial opportunity in a nutshell. The management door closed and I decided to build a door of my own. Now, I'm sure many of you have built or are building your own door very similar to mine. It may just be a different color or style, a different industry, a different capability. But at the same time, you're building your opportunities and you're opening new doors for yourself. Again, if that's what you are here to do today, to identify opportunities at UAB, to open new doors or build new doors, to learn and engage and react to me, to learn and engage, please react to me using the reaction icons once again. Thumbs up, sideways, thumbs down. Being in the room is just the first step, however. So you're here today. Recognize when the opportunity is in front of you is another. And that's the one you don't want to miss. So a quick story. I started my first company with my husband, Greg. He brought his business development skills to the table. I brought everything else. A great compliment that we provided there for each other. But what he saw as opportunities, I didn't always see as such. It was all about perspective. Many of the things he brought to the table, I saw as risk. He saw as opportunity. I saw as expense. He saw as an investment and what it could be. So recognize the opportunity when it's in front of you, or just seek counsel to help you through it. Someone else who has more experience to be able to help you work through it. But recognize it when it's in front of you and don't miss it. Next slide. So for the last few minutes that I have, I will wrap up my time with a few, what I'm calling opportunity is power tips that you can take away today. Most of my own, and a couple of them I got from my CEO colleagues who took the opportunities that they created or that were placed in front of them, which then helped propel them to their current seat of authority and influence, where they are now making decisions that impact not only themselves, but their customers, their employees, and their communities. So the first power tip: recognize the opportunity, have courage to seize it. So when opportunities present themselves, are you prepared? I've talked about preparation a number of times today. And so that is so very critical. Are you prepared? Do you know how to recognize an opportunity when you see it? And when you do, what will you do with it? I'll ask the question, why are you attending the Making Business Opportunities Happen empowerment event? That's what I call an empowerment event, because it is empowering for you to be able to learn and hear from those affiliated with the university about where the opportunities are. But why are you attending this event? Write it in the chat so it's actionable. What do you hope to get out of the sessions that you'll be attending this afternoon? And what will you do with the information once you have it? Is there someone you want to interact with? It's easier in person, of course, but during the breakout session this afternoon on purchasing and construction and professional services, what are you hoping to hear? And then what will you do with that information? Will you follow up with those individuals to learn more? Have the courage and the go-get-itness, that's a word I kind of made up, to take risks and seize the moment. How one perceives that as an opportunity lies in the power of your own perspective and the mind of the individual. Power tip number 2. Next slide. Use each opportunity to propel you forward, then reach back and create opportunity for others. Whether that's in business and you're hiring people, you're creating jobs and helping families. Whether it's in your career or in your job where you're mentoring others who are coming up their career ladders. Whether it's in school or in the community where you're giving back. There is nothing more powerful in my mind than paying it forward. I can't count the number of people I've hired, the internships we've provided, the scholarships we've given, the organizations we've supported over the years because of the position that I happen to be in. So we have to reach back, help someone else. Again, opportunity is power. It puts us all in those kinds of positions to be able to pay it forward. Next slide. Power tip number 3. Use each opportunity to create the freedom you seek now. What is it that you seek with each opportunity? Is it freedom to be your own boss? Freedom to create opportunities for others? To impact those you serve or the world we live in? Is it financial freedom? Whatever it is that brought you to this session today, seek it out. Whatever it is that you're looking for when you go to the session this afternoon on purchasing and construction and the like, seek the opportunity out. Next slide, please. Power tip number 4. No preparation, no success, no power. But if you know preparation, you know success, you'll know the power that you seek. Seizing opportunities, however, requires discipline and preparation. If you know how to be disciplined in this entrepreneurial journey that you're on and as you're seeking to grow your businesses, and you know how to prepare so when opportunities present themselves, you will be in a better position to have the success that you seek. And you will have the power to influence others and bring about the change that you seek. Bobby Unser is the Indy 500 champion who passed away just a few weeks ago. And he stated, success is where preparation and opportunity meet. So profound. Opportunity, preparation, success. It's all about perspective. So I'll ask each of you, are you prepared? Is your next opportunity here at UAB? Work to identify it, seize it, and make it work for you. Power tip number 5. Connect with like-minded people looking to create new opportunities. This is where networking is critical. If this session was in person, everyone would be scurrying around, meeting everybody, passing out business cards, using your iPhone to take a picture of the card that downloads to your business card app. Missing sessions that you should be in because you are laser focused on meeting that one person you came here to see, or that one person you needed to talk to. It's different now because we're virtual, but it's during the networking that you connect with others who are also looking for the next opportunity. So developing relationships is critical, and it can lead to partnerships or new business opportunities. Make the networking count by connecting with like-minded people. And I'm sure if Demetria and her team are making the attending list available to all, if they are, use it to connect, make opportunities happen. If the federal government is your target, or you're currently doing business with the federal government, connect to me. Dr. Smith says he has an office here in DC. Connect with me here in the city. So use the opportunity to connect with like-minded people. It does lead to new opportunities. Power tip number 6. Leverage access to resources. Today's event, is a prime example of leveraging access to resources. The UAB Facilities Division is making available to you internal resources and even companies who have experience doing business with the university. They are here today to share with you their stories and a few tips of their own on how they created opportunities for their companies by knowing what they are selling. They understood their market and they're leveraging relationships and resources to help them to grow their companies. And I'm sure they're going to do the same and give you tips on how you can do the same to help grow yours. And finally, power tip number 7. 7 is a sign of completion, so I ended it with number 7. Winston Churchill said, the pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. However, the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty, obstacle, challenge. I didn't immediately see the opportunity in being passed over for the manager position, but that experience did shape my view of that system. With the help of others, I was able to see the obstacle as an opportunity, not necessarily with power in mind, but with the freedom to be my own boss in mind. Although it was risky, it propelled me forward to the seat of power that I sit in today, which creates the opportunity for me to go beyond myself to help others. And so let your experiences shape each opportunity and know that opportunity is power, no matter how you define it. If you got at least one tip or something I said resonated with you today, react with the thumbs up icon so I can know that I went down your street some point during my time with you today. So thank you so much. I think that's my last slide. Next slide, I think it's just a question slide. I'm not sure if we have a time for questions. If we do, I'd be happy to take those if they're in the chat. I'm happy to be able to look at those as well. So I'm going to look real quick to see if there are any. Tamika, any questions there for me at this time?
It certainly seemed like you have connected with the audience, Catherine. Amazing. I think all the thumbs up and reaction and the great power tips have been wonderful. As a matter of fact, the chat has been on fire. So you all did a great job, you know, having Dr. Smith to kind of start off and you to keep it going has been amazing. So certainly would encourage any comments or suggestions, but we are just so excited for your presentation and thanks for bringing the power home to talk about these opportunities. It certainly has been a remarkable opportunity to have you here to present this great presentation today.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for letting me join you today. Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. I think at this point we have another presentation that we're going to be joined by in just a couple of moments. So Mr. LaRue, you're up to introduce your next keynote speaker.
Oh, thank you very much. It's my pleasure today to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Shannon Riley, founder of One Stop Environmental Services, and since last fall, president of the Alabama operations of Ambipar and One Stop Environmental. Ms. Riley has over 25 years of experience in environmental services. Her entrepreneurial expertise, coupled with her 2 degrees in chemistry, enabled her to take her company from its founding in 1999 to a full-service environmental company and to be recognized in Alabama in 2008 as one of the fastest growing companies. Her talk today is titled Opportunity Drives Success, and I'm looking forward to hearing this talk because I know she sincerely believes this because I went to the One Stop Environmental website. And if you go there, not only do you see all the great things that they're doing as a company, you'll also see where they're sponsoring programs for children, such as Earth Day Hero and Yellowhammer Scholar, programs designed to create opportunities for our next generation. So with that, let us welcome Ms. Shannon Riley.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that introduction. Demetria, thank you for inviting me to speak today. Events like this have always been the foundation of my business knowledge. Networking, creating ideas, developing that next idea. Like Dell, I have a lot of pictures to go with my anecdotal stories of opportunities in business. So I hope they speak to you in some way. I hope that you gain at least one nugget of wisdom from my stories and take that to help you build something amazing. Were y'all able to get my PowerPoint up?
We should be able to pull it up. I think the IT team for Jerry will probably have it. If not, Tamika.
I do have one. It's coming, Shannon.
Wonderful.
Coming. 1 second.
And Shannon, you have time, so be sure to share all the great pictures and all the information you have with us. We have a little extra time, and certainly don't rush it on. And you've got a great presentation lined up for us.
I think the fun thing that everyone's going to see is that the three of us have really said almost the same thing, except for we're coming at it from different viewpoints. So I hope that between the three of us, every one of you finds something that resonates with you and something that you can take home and make you a stronger business person or help you with the adventures you're taking on. But my topic is opportunity drives success. And kind of like Catherine, I pulled a bunch of people. I really was trying to decide exactly what does opportunity drives success mean? And for me, it really means that opportunity might be the vehicle that drives success, but it's our dreams that fuel that success. Without opportunity, we can't have success. And without the ability to seize that opportunity when it finally comes along, again, we can't have success. Opportunities are everywhere. They come in every shape, size, and life event. And I mean, how blessed are we? We were born into the land of opportunity. So we have opportunities to further our education or learn a trade. We can work for someone else or strike it out on our own if we choose to take that opportunity to start our own business. Or you can make it into a great success, keep it small, make it a nice lifestyle business where it allows you to be in charge, but doesn't require as much interaction. Or tragically, you can make decisions and it can fail. But every opportunity is just that. It's an opportunity for us to reach our dreams. And by being here, you're already working to seize those opportunities. Like I said earlier, it was meetings like this that really gave me a lot of my knowledge along the way. So I was young, only 26, and thankfully pretty naive, but ready to work hard and reach my dreams of becoming that big company that could impact people in a positive way and hold a great reputation for quality, service, and integrity. I bounded into this new world of business ownership armed with a graduate degree in chemistry, and my only business knowledge came from sitting around the dinner table listening to my father, who had owned a small business, discussing his own business issues. Some days I could not find an opportunity. I was best friends with the Yellow Pages, and the Yellow Pages I don't think even exist anymore. But then other days, there seemed to be opportunities everywhere. It was hard work to seize them. There were opportunities that I was prepared to seize.
Can you let me know?
I had a proper resume. I had enough personnel and equipment to perform, very limited, and I had enough cash in the bank to make it happen, also very limited. And then there were some big opportunities, the contracts that I was sure would make me set for life, but those were just out of my reach at that time. So I learned to take each day as it comes. If I had realized at the age of 26, when I headed to the courthouse to get my business license with a 4-month-old on my hip, what my company would be today, I would have been overwhelmed at how I would get there. But it took me 22 years to get here, not just 22 days. I was continually preparing for tomorrow, tackling today's issues, learning from them to make myself stronger, better, smarter, and ready, hopefully, for the opportunities that would come up tomorrow. I've joked that the lessons I've learned while developing my business are more expensive and far more valuable than an MBA from Harvard. So I want to share with you a little what I've learned along the way and the things that I think are the ways to allow opportunity to drive success. So first, we've got to develop that opportunity. Never accept no for an answer. Until that opportunity is 100% over, the door has been slammed in your face, continue to work to get that answer changed to yes. This is true from the little opportunities to the big ones. Like Catherine said, used to these events were matchmaking events where we got to meet with people, we got to network, and you would submit who you wanted to meet with. And sometimes you got a couple of those names that you really wanted, but there were still a couple of more that you didn't get on their list. And so you couldn't at the end of the day just go home and say, well, I got 3 out of my 6. I would always wait around because it always turned out that those other 3 that you really wanted to meet with, they had a little extra time. Maybe one of their slots didn't show up, or maybe they finished early. And that was an opportunity to walk up and say, hey, can you meet with me for a minute? And more times than not, they would say, sure, sit down, let's talk. So it gave me one more opportunity, one more person I connected with in order to develop my business. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina destroyed New Orleans, and we were able to do a lot of work in St. Bernard Parish. But first I had to fight for that contract. And then I had to fight to find personnel, then fight to stay on the contract and not get thrown off, fight to get paid, fight to not go bankrupt due to cash flow. Banks did not want to touch me. It took us 3 years to get paid for the work we did after Hurricane Katrina. So cash flow was basically non-existent. It was in reverse. I literally drove around this city with 3 years of personal tax returns and 3 years of one-stop tax returns, my articles of incorporation, everything a bank would ask for in order to receive a loan, so that just in case I drove past a bank that I had not asked for money from yet, I could walk in, put my big stack on the table and ask for a loan. I'm pretty sure I scared them all off by being that aggressive because no one gave me any money. But I could not accept no for an answer. I mean, if I accepted no, I was done. I was bankrupt. I was all my employees, everybody that I was taking care of. So I had to figure out a way to turn that answer of no into yes. And that's when I found factoring. It's not necessarily the cheapest way to get money, but between the local bank being willing to bear some of the burden and factoring my invoices, I could cover the remainder of my cash flow needs. It took me a few years, but I was able to keep my doors open. I was able to continue to grow One Stop. And before I knew it, I had the payment in from St. Bernard Parish, and things were moving good again. So again, never accept no. Never accept you're not qualified. You're not big enough. Figure out a way to qualify yourself through training, gaining more education, or hire on that team member that's going to get you there. Maybe sometimes you need to partner with another company or another person that you never really thought would be your ally in order to obtain a contract. And then once you get to the other side and you perform that contract, you are qualified. You did it. It's on your resume and you can get it the next time all by yourself. So the next thing I've learned is take those small opportunities to open the door to the large one. I'm going to pause for a second. On the slides, if y'all want to move forward some, you can, or they're just a bunch of random pictures. But take the small opportunities to open the door to the larger ones. Take on those small jobs to get the big one. Don't be afraid to take someone's crumbs or scraps, because that little job, if you perform it well, might turn into your next really big job. My first federal job was a 10,000 gallon tank cleaned at Homestead Air Force Base in South Florida. I actually won it because I'd never heard of Davis-Bacon wages. So I completely misbid a federal job. Thankfully, it was a small project, or else I would have lost a lot of money. But we headed down over 800 miles away and we did an awesome job. So that $15,000 project that we basically broke even on turned into a 15-year contract handling all the hazardous waste, disposal, and separator work on the base. Who would have thought something so small and somewhat of a disaster could develop into such an amazing contract? But that's where we took something small and we excelled at performing on that job, and it gained us that next big project. And we continue with that attitude today. We take on little projects, show that we're qualified, and before we know it, like the picture that's up right now, it turns into an enormous project. Develop opportunities from your current clients and listen to their needs. So my next point is, yes, we can do that. That is our constant saying is we can do that. Enlarge your service offerings, your footprint to mimic what your clients' needs are. So a good many years ago, we added asbestos abatement when we realized several of our clients had that need and they kept asking us about how to deal with it. But it took us a while to find the right team. I mean, I lost money for several years. I fired lots of people, but today we have a great team and now have almost 40% of our annual revenue coming from an area that I didn't realize even still had a need. 1985 was when asbestos was supposed to be stopped putting in our structures. But today we take on remodeling projects like the kitchen floor when you decide to put in new tile and realize that it's asbestos tile that's on the floor. We've done several schools, and this summer we're starting up American Trade Towers downtown. We've done the 2121 building and the Lyric Center. So some great projects we've been able to accomplish over the years. We've expanded our footprint and licensed ourselves in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, North and South Carolina, and Florida so that we can better.
I think your camera muted you, Shannon. Please unmute.
I'm sorry. When did I quit talking?
We only missed about 2 seconds. You're fine.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we've recently added on dredging. This is a project that we had done a very small amount of, but we were out at a client site looking at a completely unrelated project when they were bemoaning they could not find a good contractor to help them with their retention pond. And what was our response? Our response was, we can do that. So we performed a small job like this, but we knew we had the skills and we knew who to go to help us do a good job. So we took our team and we got busy figuring out how to handle the yes, we can do that. So we now are on a project that's going to take us 3 or 4 months to complete. It's a huge retention pond, an opportunity that would have never been there for us had we not been willing to step up and say, yes, we can do that. So next is make the opportunity. Don't stand still. So like Dell, I have a military kid. He enlisted straight out of high school. He knew that a technical degree was going to be better for him than headed off to college. But he tells me that they say you have to get off the X. Those that stand still die. That's true on the battlefield, and it's true on the business battlefield as well. There are times when you have to make quick, informed decisions and just trust your gut. Sometimes you have to get busy going or watch the opportunity go past you. Sometimes you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone, accept a little risk and go. If you take too long doing a risk analysis and verifying there's no downside, the opportunity may be completely gone by the time you decide to move. Now, this probably isn't for your first job, or maybe it is what keeps you off, but ensure you're not going to break the bank and get busy going. And we're doing that right now as I'm speaking. We're actually incorporating the get off the X with don't take the answer no. We are very good at disasters. In fact, I think I love disasters. My kids all laugh. When the trees start blowing, I get all excited. We're good at managing the chaos, and we're good at managing the people to get the job done. Currently, we're down at El Paso in the middle of the border crisis, helping with the migrant camps. At this moment, no one really knows what's going on, what the specific objectives are, or concise directions. I would say this closely mimics Hurricane Katrina in the early days, when martial law was in effect and we had a police escort for our trucks in and out each day. But we can't stand still. We can't stand there and wait for someone to give us specific directions. We understand the framework of our purpose, and we are busy staffing up, preparing personnel, and getting ready to run. We can't be caught standing still, thinking about what might happen, because when that gun goes off, we'll be left behind if we're standing there. We're also fighting and never accepting the answer no. We worked hard to get this contract, and no matter how many obstacles get thrown out in front of us, we're not going to stop until the base tells us it's over. And then finally, once you're prepared, seize the opportunity. Sometimes you just have to hold your breath and jump. As with all of you, I'm sure you fully remember that week in March when the world was closing down. I had my children off at school feeling their lives were turning upside down, but it was the employees and their families looking at me wondering what was about to happen, and they needed reassurance and security as we moved through COVID. That's when you have to take the opportunity in front of you and let it drive you to success. We decided as a team that we are a hazmat company. And if anyone in this city is qualified to deal with COVID, it was our teams. But we were scared. What was this stuff? How deadly was it? And was I taking advantage of another person's disaster? But as we talked with our clients, I realized we were part of the answer in moving forward. And still to this day, we have personnel in some of the state's largest manufacturing facilities 24/7. But it's because our team kept the lines clean so that others could come back to work and work without fear. We had personnel on military bases that kept the galleys open, which, as you learned earlier, as a military mother, I'm very thankful for whoever kept the galley open where my son was stationed. Most of our clients were essential. So by default, we were also essential. But those first few weeks were long, exhausting, and emotionally draining. We had letters in every truck with the declaration that we were essential and needed to be out and about before and after any curfew. We held training classes every day until everyone was trained, ensured we were all properly fitted for PPE, trained to its use, hazards of the job, and methods of decontamination. Some of our work churned on like nothing had changed, but this gave an opportunity to keep full paychecks to those in whose areas had declined. We strategized with health clinics on how to safely see patients and decontaminate between visits. We drove through the night to New Jersey to take care of a manufacturing production line so that that client could stay open and continue manufacturing. We headed to Mississippi to decon an entire construction site, partially built so that the teams could continue working, making a living, and completing the addition to a children's hospital that needed to open. This was a decision that our team made together. We knew we could handle it, but we really didn't know the step-by-step process of getting across the finish line. This was just something we would work on each day as a team. In the middle of COVID, go to the next slide though. It's probably not the best thing to show everybody, but I don't know if anybody heard the YouTube song Quarantine. It was cracked me up, but it was stressful, as you all know. So at the end of week 2, I don't think any of us had hardly had any sleep. We had crews running around the clock helping out. And so it was time for vaccination, well before the word vaccination even came into everyone's knowledge with having to deal with COVID. But in the middle of COVID, I was approached about selling One Stop Environmental. It was something that I had always hoped I would be able to do. I worked to make sure One Stop was a solid company, creating opportunities for each employee to better themselves and give an excellent service to our clients. And this was a huge opportunity right in front of me. And there was no way to determine if it was totally the right decision. I had to weigh the pros and cons and then just hold my nose and jump, opening the doors for One Stop's growth and developing our team members into leaders. As I said, I'd always wanted to grow One Stop into a company that was desirable to be purchased. And I'm pretty sure that I want my life to slow down a little. But what if I get to the other side and I'm bored? I guess then I'll be like Catherine and start a whole nother company. But then the opportunities in front of One Stop by joining with a worldwide company, I couldn't reach those opportunities before I died. This has been a lot of fun, a challenge for each of us, but the opportunities at our feet are amazing. I've had the opportunity to help develop the strategy for the North American companies. I've been able to elevate One Stop personnel in leadership and responsibilities, and even in geographical territories. Within the first few months of being acquired, several of our personnel headed over to Colorado to help a new company that had also been acquired resolve an issue, and something that I couldn't have ever been able to do. And it gave them a great opportunity to develop their skills. So almost a year into this adventure, I'm very thankful that I took this step. So here we are today. We're 22 years later. I started with an idea, really a small truck and 1 employee and a 4-month-old. And today we keep over 70 with a good paycheck weekly and can expand to almost 200 when needed. I have a fleet of trucks, really big trucks. My oldest of 4 just graduated from college, and my youngest is one of the newest drivers on the road. So watch out for a white Pathfinder. I would say in my 22 years of School of Hard Knocks, those are the major points towards success developing opportunities. So prepare to the best of your abilities. Develop that opportunity. Never accept no for an answer. Take the small opportunities to open the doors to the large ones. Create opportunities from your current clients, listen to their needs, and always be willing to say, yes, we can do that. Make the opportunity. Don't stand still. Get off the X. And then seize the opportunity. Sometimes you're going to just have to hold your breath and jump. Thank you again, Demetria and UAB, for having me today. And if anybody has any questions, I'm always available to answer those now, or here's my contact information. Please send me an email, give me a call. I am always excited to sit down over coffee or lunch and share ideas about how to get through tough business ways or make your business stronger. Thanks so much.
All right, Shannon, thank you so much. You have done an amazing job. I remember first meeting you years ago. I'm not sure if you remember, and we've been talking. I've been to your place, and I'm just so excited to see your growth. And of course, you know, you are a family woman. All of you are parents, you know, with Catherine and Dale, of course. And so we just make it happen. So I'm so proud of all the things you do. But I want to have a little brief conversation. This is a little bit unscripted, so I'm just going to share with you. We're going to go with this a little bit. So Dale, if you're still on, as well as Catherine, if you're still on, and Shannon, I just want to find out the common denominator that all of you have talked about is this idea about opportunities and how opportunities have really shaped it. I mean, Shannon, you mentioned about, you know, hold your breath and just hold your nose and jump. Dale, you mentioned about, you know, asking the question about what is your motivation? And also, too, this system thinking. I love that. I thought that was so profound. And of course, Catherine left us all these great power tips. But I want to find out that if you had to just say, here is just one thing that I think entrepreneurs need to know, because, you know, we're in Birmingham, Alabama. We continue to build this ecosystem. We have this great business partner, UAB, that's really guiding this mission to try to make sure that we don't just think about diversity of bringing in suppliers, that we actually do it and make it happen. So, Shannon, I'm going to ask you, you know, what is like the one thing you said, I wish someone would have told me before I got started? What's that one piece of advice you said, I wish I knew that beforehand?
I needed so many bits of advice before I got started. I I do think I had met UAB sooner. That I promised the majority of my knowledge came from UAB. I learned how to be a federal contractor. I learned what a NAICS code was. I learned, I mean, there were so many things that I had no clue how to handle. And it was the UAB teams that really helped me through everything. But it took me probably 2 years to find them.
Ah, okay. Well, you know, it takes a while. So look, no, we don't need any slides at this point, everybody. We're just going to go full screen with, you know, Shannon, and I know Catherine is still here. So Catherine, let me ask you the same question. What's that one piece of advice you said, you know what? I wish I knew this beforehand, you know, or this would have helped me a lot more. Do you remember something that was pretty profound to you?
Yeah, I wish someone had told me how hard it was going to be to find a mentor.
Okay.
Figure out and navigate this new found opportunity that I was, you know, the path that I was putting myself on. It was hard. And again, I don't do business with UAB, but just in general terms, in starting a new business, I wish I just could have found someone who could sit me down and say, these are the challenges I face, learn from my experiences, or this is where you can go and find the information. You know, the internet is so prevalent now, so it's easy to find that information. But when I started my company in the early 90s, that was like going to the library, you know, to find that stuff out, right? So I just wish I had someone who could have been my big sister or my big brother and say, you know, hey, I've done it, and now I'm going to pay it forward and help you. But it was very, very difficult. So if there's a way that as a university and the entrepreneurship program is working to pair with the students or others who are coming to the university to help them find resources, it would be that, to help partner us with people who've been there, done that, who can impart that wisdom into us so that we can, that you all can start your journeys a little bit wiser than what you may come into the process with.
Okay. This is kind of a question I think all entrepreneurs are really interested in is, did you ever feel like, you know what, I'm not sure this is worth it? Did you ever wake up one morning and just say, you know what, I'm just not sure? So Shannon, did you ever think, I'm not sure, I've got, you know, children, we've got these great things going on, but this is tough. And I think Catherine alluded to that.
Many times. I certainly struggled with the guilt of being a mother and not being at home with my children during the beginning. But I had to keep, like Catherine mentioned, although I'm investing in my children, I'm also able to invest in so many others. You're able to have a platform to work with other people and invest in the people that you don't get otherwise. There were many times, especially during Hurricane Katrina, when my only job every day was just finding some money, that I wanted to just throw my hands up and quit. But I think you realize, and I think that's part of an entrepreneur, there's the don't quit attitude in everything that you do. But yes, there were several times in the early days, like when a key employee would quit, that you just kind of said, oh no, I thought I had made so many steps forward and now I've got to fully invest again because I've lost the person that used to do X, Y, and Z for the company, that you wanted to just throw the towel in, but you realized that there were so many people depending on you that just wasn't an option anymore.
Mm-hmm. Catherine, was there any day you said, you know what, I'm not sure this is worth it?
Every day.
Every day.
But then the more you grow, the more it's like, what am I doing? And, you know, to Shannon's point, you know, she's absolutely right. It's having that stick to itness, not give up and quit, even when you're $300 away. And that's in my book. I tell that story. I didn't talk about that. It was $300. That's all I had left was $300. You know, and it's like, I can't do this. And, you know, it's just, let's just go back to work, you know, for somebody. But it's during that time that we have to go deep inside of ourselves to really remember what we're in it for in the first place. And so as we grow, the challenges continue to mount. And so it's even more so to continue to keep that place of peace in your minds, that this is all worth it. And we just got to keep pushing forward and pray that the next opportunity will come, or the next decision that I have to make will be the right decision. So, but every day of the week, it's something that comes up, and it's going to be something. But just have to remember, why am I in this? And it's to help other people, create jobs for others, as well as for your families and all of that. And as a mom of twins, you know, building a company at the same time. My company's 28 years, been in business 28 years, and my daughters will be 28 years old in July. So you're right, Shannon, that guilt about, you know, I've got to work and got to take care of these children. And I had 2 jobs. I had my day job and I had my night job, and I had my, you know, and then the kids were all intertwined, you know, in that. But I would just say that when you feel that I'm just through, don't stop. Just keep pushing forward.
Just keep going. I think you ladies are really kind of the cream of the crop in terms of explaining that, because I think there is this guilt that you have to carry everybody on your back, so to speak. I do also think there's something about the pressure of making payroll. I mean, Shannon, you talked about that a little bit, that you have to carry, you know, you have to carry the fact that the people whose lives depend on you. So you have to make this happen. You have to keep this going, because if you don't, what happens to them? And I think that as entrepreneurs, you know, even in starting my company, Demetria mentioned that I started several companies. Well, the Sky Connect company, I realized that when you start making payroll, something changes in you. You realize there's a responsibility about this. And so can you all speak to that a little bit? And then I'll go to one of the questions in the chat or comment in the chat as well. So that's a real thing, this payroll issue.
Yes, I remember early on, I was so afraid to really make those first few hires because I didn't want to take someone from a paying job and put them in my, I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue to pay you job. And so, you know, it hampered me a little bit in that I wasn't willing to hire the best of the best because I wasn't 100% sure that I could continue forward. So it is stressful. And there are times of the company of One Stop where that was my only focus, was getting the dollars in the door so that payroll was covered on Friday. I think that we've been blessed with clients that were repetitive clients that I knew at a minimum payroll was going to be covered. Now I might not cover the American Express bill, but payroll was going to get paid. And so that was good. You know, you get really good at robbing Peter to pay Paul. You learn all kinds of cash flow strategies. And like I said earlier, you find out about everybody that's willing to give you some money and who is willing to rob you on the backside as they give you some money. So, but yeah, it's a large stress. And then as you grow and you get bigger, you realize, okay, we're consistent. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to cover payroll on Friday, or at least I'm 95% sure I'm going to cover it on Friday. And you start bringing in those higher quality people. And then you really just start to take off, or at least we did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree with Shannon, Alice. Payroll is probably the biggest stressor, I think, for any CEO, any entrepreneur that has employees that they're responsible for. And we're responsible, like Shannon said, we're responsible for the employees and their livelihoods. And so payroll is very, very an important factor of being an entrepreneur. And the bigger we get, the bigger the payroll, the more we have to work to identify new opportunities and new business to be able to support the payroll. I remember when we first had our first payroll, it was the customer was late paying, but payroll was coming. You know, so what did I have to do? I ended up using my credit card to pay my team. You know, I didn't get paid for over a year and a half, but my team got paid. Those are the sacrifices that we as entrepreneurs have to make to ensure we maintain a stable workforce. Because as Shannon said, when your good people leave, you're like, oh, wow, what now, right? It's got to rehire and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But you got to make payroll. The moment you miss a payroll, the employees lose confidence in your ability to be able to make payroll. And so, you know, I just say, whatever you got to do, find that next piece of business, whatever, to make certain you're paying your people. And the bigger you get, the more the challenge. Get a line of credit, whatever you got to do to be able to make your payroll is what we ended up doing. And when those banks say that you're not credible because you don't have collateral, you don't have this, you don't have that, there's always a way. You find that banking resource that is small business friendly, who understands the challenge of a startup, and you tie yourself to them. They'll be there in the hard times when you're growing your company.
Wow. Well, I want to see by the folks who are in the chat right now, has anyone ever had issues managing payroll? Because that's a big question and something that happens to all of us. Matter of fact, one of the people in the chat said, Amex, have mercy on us, because you're right. American Express, is one of those cards you guys mentioned. And that's a big deal. So just by reaction in the chat, how many people have faced that same issue? Because this is a real issue. If you're making payroll or you're paying someone else to do a job, that's how you grow. But it certainly is a degree of stress. I certainly have felt it, Shannon, you guys have felt it. Catherine, you guys have felt it, and many of you on the call as well. So I certainly want to hear more about, those challenges too. Shannon, you're going to say something else about that?
No, the only thing I was going to say is when we start staffing up for our disasters, similar to what we're doing right now in El Paso, I completely build out a cash flow specifically for payroll. And I know as I've grown up to a certain number of people and how long it's going to take to actually start getting paid, do I have the money in the bank to cover payroll, or do I need to get busy finding that money before we even kick off the job site? Because like Catherine said, without payroll, you lose your entire crew.
Yeah, and you lose the confidence of the people around you. And so Val Anderson said, yeah, making payroll is a real issue, especially when the people are late. Because Catherine, you mentioned not being paid for a year and a half. So I think all of us, I see us coming in now that, yeah, it's a huge issue. And Orlando has mentioned it as well. But one thing we also wanted to mention about the mentorship. We can talk days about mentorship. I think all of us want to find someone who can help guide us or just give us that listening ear. And so we almost need to establish our own source of our kitchen cabinet, so to speak. We have these people who are actually advisors to us to say, well, why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Why shouldn't you be doing that? Or is the time right to do what you're doing? There's all these things that as entrepreneurs we go through and we balance. So I really want to just say thank you so much, Shannon Riley from One Stop Environmental. I certainly am so excited about your growth and seeing you again today. I want to also thank you very much, Catherine Freeland, president of ATEC. You've been an amazing speaker. So glad you guys are here. And of course, Dr. Dale Smith from Aquanate, excited to hear their presentation. You guys did an awesome job. So big round of applause, big kudos, big reaction to you. Great job. Thank you so much. You've got people who are here giving you hand claps and all of that. We love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, thank you so much. So at this time, I would love to invite Dr. Corey Perdue to come just have a chat with me. There is a great giveaway that's coming up, and we'll actually want to talk about that now. And then after we talk about this giveaway, I'm going to go to the digital book for just a moment after we finish this. But Dr. Corey, are you able to be on with me, Dr. Perdue?
Yes, I'm right here. That's great. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm not able to see you just yet, but I'm sure you're there. So look, you have an amazing announcement, and it really is an opportunity for us to get some additional scholarships. So you want to talk a little bit more about that so we can inform everybody who's on the call. This is an opportunity to get some credit for some professional development opportunities.
Yes, so the UAB Collette School of Business has professional ed classes, open enrollment to anybody at UAB or outside UAB. And things like project management, agile, business writing, lots of fun things. We're going to give away 3 $500 scholarships today.
Okay, 3, so 1, 2, 3, right?
3
today?
$500 scholarships. So
okay.
If you want to click on the link I put in the chat and just fill out that take your next step form. It's super easy. It'll take you 30 seconds. You'll be entered into the drawing, and then I will we'll have it completely random, pick 3 people.
Okay, so we have about 90 people on the call now, and there is a link in the chat. This link in the chat apparently goes to a website or at least a fillable form, and Dr. Perdue is going to be able to announce the winner. Matter of fact, the announcement looks like it's going to be by the 28th, so this week you'll know more about who the winners are.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And I understand these professional development courses are for any business owner who's on the call today. And you can actually include courses on project management, system of agile. You can also go through leadership training, professional selling, digital marketing, and so much more. UAB has a plethora of those opportunities. So this is for anyone in UAB system or outside of UAB system. Is that correct, Dr. Perdue?
That is correct. All of our open enrollment classes are open to the community. And if you are part of UAB, you on top of it get discounts, so you can apply both. And if you have any questions about it, please just let me know, because got a lot of exciting things going on.
Okay, now are these will this $500 pay for the entire course, or do we have to kind of add a little bit more to it?
Depends on your course. There are some really short courses that this would pretty much pay most of it. But if you wanted to take like the full PMP project management professional, there would be a little more to pay as well.
Okay, so it gets you at least $500 closer to getting these training courses. And you know, I have this saying that until we become robots or cyborgs, we always need to have these different training opportunities. And so, Dr. Perdue, thank you so much. We'll continually put this information in the chat for those, but she said it only takes about 30 to 40 seconds to actually complete the application, and it allows you to do that. So if you want to just kind of have that, what I would recommend you do is copy and paste that and keep that link close, because that's an opportunity for us as well. So with that being said, I also want to share with you, we have a digital book that's available for those who are on the call today. So we have an event guide. And this event guide is an opportunity for you to really get a chance to see what we're doing today for this event. So I would like to ask if we can put that up for just a couple of moments. And I want to go through that just really briefly for you and show you high level. It's more of a flip book. So it actually goes through information about the event today. So if we can kind of get that on the slide here, I think it's coming up. Yes, thank you. There's a link in your chat that actually allows you to see this. But yeah, can you just go through it a little bit for me? First page is informational. This is the fact that we really want to thank UAB for what they're doing. The objectives of this program is to really provide opportunities for those small and mid-sized companies. It helps to eliminate those barriers around diverse businesses trying to get into these big companies the way UAB is, and provides an effective opportunity to educate so many people. There's a program agenda there, but we're already into it. So we're coming up on our supplier showcase in a few moments. You've heard from these incredible speakers, Dr. Davis, Ms. Freeland, of course, and Shannon. We had a great conversation with them, and you can see some of the exciting shots. We were in person last time, so this time it's all virtual this year. If you can move on to the next page, you'll see that we actually have an incredible supplier showcase. Now, this is going to be something I'll talk about in a couple of moments. We'll go rapid fire with these suppliers with their information. So be prepared for that in a couple of minutes. So we're very excited to have an opportunity for you to download this digital book, keep it, and keep a copy of it. The next part of this session is that after we finish our supplier profiles and showcase, we'll actually have the breakout sessions where you can really talk, share your camera, be a part of this. Because if you're like me, you really want to find out how to grow your business in this current ecosystem that we're in. And that's what that's all about. And that's what we want to make sure we have happen for today. So I want to make sure I encourage you to take a look at the digital book. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Jared. And be sure to sign in for those additional professional development trainings as well. So our sessions today will end up at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So we've got a whole lot more to go. So let's keep things moving at this point. We are moving a little bit early. So what I'm going to do is get you to take a quick stretch break. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to stay right here. But I want you to take a small stretch break, get you some water, go to the ladies' room, men's room, and come right back here. I would just say I'm going to give you about 3 to 4 minutes. And we'll actually just make sure we're here. We're going to actually stay at this time to make sure we present our sessions, get everybody ready for our supplier showcase that's coming up here in a few moments, and get them ready, because I know that you're going to really want to hear from these vendors. We've done a really great job of getting these incredible vendors to be a part of this conversation this morning. So I'm just going to give you a 3 to 4 minute stretch break. Don't go far. Just go to your office, get some coffee or tea, and come right back. We're going to get started here in less than 5 minutes. So just going to take a quick stretch break. What I'd like to ask is the tech team to do is just take a quick moment. You are more than welcome, if you can, to go back to our initial slide that we used this morning and allow us to kind of have a little bit of activity. Yep. And then we'll see you back in about 3 to 4 minutes, everybody. All right, I think we are all back. Thank you all for hanging out with us this afternoon. Well, this morning, we are so pleased to see so many people. You know, I have this quote that I actually always say. I want to make sure I get it right. I know many of you have heard it. It's from the cultural anthropologist Margaret Mead, who says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. As a matter of fact, indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And so the sessions today show you that these folks that we're talking to and the people who are a part of this conversation are the small, the powerful, the mighty, and the big in terms of making sure that we're trying to bring these suppliers together and include them in this ecosystem here at UAB and to do a great job for it. So at this point, I would like to ask you to turn your attention to a brief video that actually gives you an introduction about this program that we call the Academic Small Business Alliance Program. And you'll actually get a chance to hear from Dr. Dean Jack in this video. So let's play our video one. And then after that, we'll get ready for our supplier showcase that I'll tell you all about in a couple of minutes.
Hello, I'm Eric Jack. I'm the Dean of the Collette School of Business here at UAB, one of the partners in the Academic and Small Business Alliance. So it's clearly a win for all three entities, beginning with us in academia. We get the opportunity to position our students for success and have them be mentored by some of the best and brightest, taking risks, developing businesses, creating opportunity. It is clearly a win for our students because they are probably the biggest gainers in this environment, to be mentored and to get the opportunity to discover within themselves what they'd like to do with their careers. It is a great opportunity for UAB in terms of supplier diversity because we can proactively address the problem of increasing opportunity and broadening the capability of businesses to do business with who is the largest employer in the state of Alabama, and that's UAB, with a $7.1 billion impact. So it's clearly a win-win for all the parties. Win for us in academia, win for the businesses, win for UAB.
All right, so yeah, you have probably heard about the Academic Small Business Alliance Program, and we call it ASBA. And there are many people on the call who actually have either been to some of our functions or been involved with the program since it started in 2015. That was really how, when I first started working with UAB, we were trying to think about this program to bring together entrepreneurs in the current Birmingham ecosystem, and then the enterprising, intelligent, engaging students from UAB School of Business. Hence, the partnership between those two entities joined together to bring ASBA, the ASBA program, to life. And you've probably been hearing a lot about it. Of course, in the current COVID environment that we've been in, we had to make some adjustments in the program, but it is coming back, and so excited that Demetria Scott and her staff will be continuing to work on that program this year. So you will be hearing a whole lot more about it. So thank you so much, Dr. Dean Jack. Dr. Dean Jack, just so you'll know, stepped up very quickly in the process and said, hey, I'll put our money on it first. I'll do this. And then, of course, the facilities department was really right where they're with them. So the two of those entities pulled together their resources and made this happen. So now you have the School of Engineering, the School of Health Profession, and I think the College of Arts and Science is also part of the ASPR program. So the ASPR program is a way for you to get an intern from those different colleges during the fall of the year and the spring of the year. So really, if you're interested in that, you probably want to, take a listen to it and be a part of that. We'll actually have a couple more videos we'll show throughout the course of the session. So I also wanted to make sure that Dr. Corey Perdue, there was a question that was posed in the chat. Did you answer that already? Okay. All right, yeah, you had a question there. You want to make sure you clarify how people can know that their application is completed?
Yeah, so if you just fill out the Take the Next Step form, and then when you hit submit, it'll change to sending. About 3 seconds later, the webpage will change and it'll say, thanks for connecting with us. And then you'll also get an email from me in your inbox.
Okay, all right. Very good, very good. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So when we decided that this event was going to be one that UAB was going to do, they had put this incredible day together, and we start talking through what else can we do? What else can we bring to this conversation that would help to highlight these incredible vendors, but also showcase what they can do for UAB in particular, and also across this peer-to-peer network of entrepreneurs, how they can actually be hired by their peers in addition to some of the larger corporations. And so the supplier showcase is one of those areas that we decided that, you know what, it's important to actually showcase suppliers who are in the current Birmingham system doing business all over the country, right here from this city. And so in doing so, we actually selected a hand-picked number of great vendors who are doing business here in this area. And these suppliers are ones, you may have heard of them, you probably know some of them. Some of them are certainly all my friends, but more importantly, they're business colleagues who I'm really impressed to hear more about today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the supplier showcase. During this time, of course, these suppliers are always excited for you to give them a thumbs up, a reaction, ask a question of them as well, because I will be helping to facilitate this conversation with them. So we have 10 suppliers and we'll go rapid fire. Very quickly, they'll have a short time period, but they're going to get into what services they can offer UAB because they want to continue growing their business with UAB and they want to also grow their business with your company. So assume that, you know, you may be able to say, hey, I can buy from this company, I can buy from them, in addition to the larger companies that are represented here today. So thank you so much for allowing us and sticking with us. We're going to get started now. So at this point, I have my first actual supplier that is up for the showcase. We have, of course, Joe Smith. Met Joe some years ago and think he is amazing as just kind of a fun, outgoing personality. So let me share some information about him. Joe Smith is a native of Birmingham, Alabama, and a product of the Birmingham school system. He has founded Smith & Associates Enterprises after retiring from Blue Cross Blue Shield with 25 years of facility management and operation management experience. During his tenure, he realized he wanted to grow and start a business enterprise here and foster an economic impact here in the city of Birmingham. So I'm going to ask you to call your attention to our friend and colleague, Joe Smith with Smith & Associates Enterprise. So Joe, you are up and you're going to take that first spot for us in our spotlight. I know, okay. Oh, there you are, awesome. Welcome.
Welcome. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you well.
All right, excellent, excellent. I'm on my phone because my laptop is a little bit volatile with the internet service. So I pray for your indulgence. Are we going with the slides with me being the first one?
Yes, sir.
Oh, perfect. So I know we're going rapid fire. I'll try to be succinct, but informative. First, please allow me to express my deepest appreciation to UAB for putting on this event and allowing me to participate. Alice, it's always a pleasure to spend time with someone like you that I believe is a beacon of excellence for the rest of us. Again, my name is Joe Smith. I am the CEO and founder of Smith & Associates. I founded Smith & Associates in December of 2015. And as Alice stated, I started Smith & Associates after retiring from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama with 36 years of experience. Next slide, please. Thank you. So during my time at Blue Cross, I served in a variety of managerial positions, all on the support side of the house. And it was there that I mastered my skill set that we now offer for those whom we serve at Smith & Associates. Although one of the best experiences I had and most rewarding experiences was managing our print operation. And during that time, we printed a significant amount in-house, but we also outsourced a significant amount of print. And I changed hats in those endeavors and worked hand in hand with the purchasing department to find the right vendors for the right price at the right time to get the job done. And that's essentially what Smith & Associates does for those who we serve. Next slide, please. So what separates us from our competitors at Smith & Associates? Please allow me to share two scenarios, current scenarios with customers that we have. Customer one is rebranding their entire company. They need to update their website. They need exterior signages on their building. They need a graphic designer to come on board and help them with their branding. They need window graphics. They need a direct mail campaign to communicate with their customers that they are rebranding. Oh, and by the way, they have multiple locations. Smith & Associates is the excellent partner for those pain points. We can simplify that process for our customers, allowing them to concentrate on what they do best and their core business. Customer two, large corporation. They need 10 items, all printed on a variety of substrates and all inserted into 50,000 10 by 12 envelopes. They need them mailed timely over a 6-month period, first class pre-sort mail. And they want from us each mailing a report of the remaining inventory, and they want a report of the postage report. Smith & Associates is an excellent one-stop shop for this customer. Honestly, the bigger the project and the more dynamic the project is, the more value we appear to add for our customers, or we attempt to add for our customers. Next slide, please. So at Smith & Associates, we have graphic designers and installers on staff when the job requires it. We have partnerships and contract pricing with large printers, commercial printers from Alabama to New Jersey, each specializing in a certain discipline of printing, and that's very important because we know how to find the right printer at the right time for the right job. Also, through partnership, we are union certified and HIPAA compliant. Through our partners in Atlanta and Chicago, we have the capabilities of printing, mailing and printing up to 11 million pieces a week. One of the services that we add as a value-added services is taking a customer file, and then we can run a variety of tests and delineate from those files the pre-sort savings that the customer should receive once they mail that mail out. And we do that as a complimentary service. Smith & Associates is a DBE and an MBE certified company. Next slide, please. I would be remiss if I didn't show love to what I call the University of Alabama Dream Team. We had the distinct pleasure of working with these 8 brilliant individuals as a part of the CARA Accelerator Program. They worked with our company for about a year, so they really started with us right just after the pandemic in March of 2020. What they have done for our company and the energy that they have injected into Smith & Associates and the wealth of new ideas is nothing short of amazing. And I cannot thank them enough. So that's all that I have. Again, my name is Joe Smith, and I am the CEO of Smith & Associates Enterprise. My email address is joe@designprintshipping.com. My cell number is 205-901-3353. Check us out on our website, www.designprintshipping.com. And thank you so much again for your time.
All right. So I wanted to find out, one question came in for you from Natoria that says, have you made your certifications or how have you made your certifications work for you, particularly the ones about the DBE and the MBE, Joe?
We are still working on that. That's a great question. But we have right now a contract with Jefferson County that we achieved through our DBE certification. And I think as Catherine mentioned earlier, I cannot wait until we get back to this, but we achieved that contract through a matchmaker back before the pandemic, when we were able to meet and greet and speak to the procurement agencies. And that's, to me, a key component in us being able to take advantage of our certifications. But we're happy to have Jefferson County on board, and they've been a customer of ours now for 2 years.
Okay, outstanding. And, you know, of course, in this recent health crisis, many small businesses have had to pivot, Joe, and do different things. And so can you share with us, you know, how you've been able to overcome the extraordinary challenges that many small businesses have faced?
Yes, thank you. We actually, during the pandemic, we were getting ready to bring on a franchise, and we lost the franchise. I lost $100,000 in my personal income that was taken out of my IRA. It was a very challenging time for us. We slowly were able to pick ourselves up off the canvas, restructure the company, if you will, and do some rebranding. The students at University of Alabama certainly helped us in that effort. But we went back and established our foundation on 3 principles. One was to create a new paradigm in doing business, and we're doing that now. I'd love to have that conversation with anyone that wants to know more about how we're creating that new paradigm. The second was to be relationship driven. And the third was to make it easy to do business with us. And we're doing that through a dynamic e-commerce website that we'll be launching the second phase of in 3 weeks. And we believe that it's really going to be a game changer. So
okay.
We're in better shape than we were when I lost $100,000. As a matter of fact, we've made most of that back up.
Wow. Now, Joe, that is truly a testament to the stability and the stamina of entrepreneurship. You guys have been really, really great at doing so. So I commend you for sharing that story with us. I think all of our hearts goes out to you, because all of us, if you're in business, you lost the money too. So I think that $100,000 says a lot. Matter of fact, in the room that I'm in now with Miss Scott and Tony, they all were aghast when you said that. So commend you for kind of pivoting during the time when you had to. So yeah, everybody's giving you kudos, Joe. Thank you for what you do. So, and thank you for being a friend. I really appreciate it. So we're going to keep moving forward, but we are excited that Joe has kicked us off. So at this point, I'm going to introduce you to another colleague and friend of mine as well, who has some roots and ties with me in Mobile, and is Complete 3 Tech. It's a locally owned Birmingham company who specializes in IT solutions, particularly around cloud commuting, data solutions, and network support, of course, the evermost cybersecurity, data recovery, managing your IT solutions, developing your app and your website. So this is kind of one of those companies you need to always have in your cell phone right nearby you in case something were to happen, because we all have computers. Like right around me right now, I've got 3 computers and 1 phone. So I live by my computers. And so I'm so happy to have an opportunity to invite Chris White to talk more about their company, and particularly around the fact they've been around about 40 years collectively in terms of their business and what they're doing around the area of IT and IT specialization. So coming up next, I want to invite my friend Chris White to come on and talk more about Complete 3 Solutions.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Alice, for that introduction. Just glad to be here, and it's been great so far. This has really been a great time. So today I'm going to go into, due to the time for sure, is that my good friend Joe Smith, he's a great guy, and I just love working with him. But what we do best at C3TS, I want to talk to you about that today. And we go to the next slide. And it's simple as 1, 2, 3. I want to keep it simple for you. We teach staff that they are the first line of defense against cyber attacks. We also show small businesses how to work from anywhere securely and how to never buy another PC again. And third, we are helping to solve the digital divide in rural areas with disruptive, innovative, community economic impact approach. For the time today, I'm really going to hit on the first 2 points that I want to tell you all about on this call. Next slide, please. So email phishing, probably all heard about it, but it's the easiest way for these cyber criminals to actually attack you. And one of the largest and most craziest thing going on right now is that ransomware. All heard about it, but it's epidemic. Just like this coronavirus that come last year as an epidemic. To all of us, small, mid-sized, no matter how big you are, municipalities, especially healthcare facilities and universities. So I'm speaking directly to our small businesses in UAB that's on this call right now. Technology alone cannot be your only defense. Cannot be your only defense. Employees must be trained to avoid common security threats. So I want to give you a brief video about our cybersecurity awareness training program that's cloud-based. If you just check that out for me right now. So a few things from features on our cloud solution for our cybersecurity. Two I want to point out is weekly micro training videos. So it has been, study has shown that actually we retain more by seeing things in short, frequent time periods versus us sitting through a long, drawn out 4 or 6 hour training on cybersecurity, whatnot. You can get more just by looking at 1 minute to a minute and a half a week. So therefore, that's how the micro training works. And as well, I want to point out a feature called the Catch Fish. So have you ever sat and wondered, like, this email that comes across looks very suspicious. I wish I could have somebody take a look at it for me, and you want to send it to your IT to look. Well, in this analysis tool, you can actually right there within your email, if you have Office 365, you can pop over that email and it'll tell you right then and there, hey, this is a phishing email scam. So to watch out for. You don't have to wait on IT to get back with you. You already know it's already a phishing scam. So 2 features brought in there. Below you all see the user tier model, how we work and how we do business. Please move on. I want to talk about our second point as well. So this is the part for many of our small businesses. Look, the pandemic came about and many people need to make sure they're working from anywhere securely, okay? And never having to buy another PC again. Think about the savings. So we put it real simple. Well, first off, simple, we bring about bringing the cloud-ready devices for you, for your business. So never having to purchase any PCs ever again. Also, we make it secure. So we're using enterprise-type technology behind each one of our devices and any of the virtual cloud that we utilize to make sure you have that. And then we bring about the savings. Lastly, therefore, we're going to bring about IT hardware savings for sure. So it allows you to scale your company without have to worry about buying a PC again. And also the management of it, having your very own IT professional company right behind you along the way as you grow.
Let me guess.
I want to tell you a brief video.
Let me guess, you are a startup, small or medium to large business, looking for ways to keep up with technology, but don't enjoy paying the price of always buying new PCs to do so. Well, how about you never buy another PC again? That's right, never. With our virtual technology, we make it easy to run your business remotely from anywhere securely. We provide you with a new laptop, virtual desktop, disaster recovery, backup, cybersecurity management, remote support, and office, all for $45 per user per month, with a one-time customization and setup fee for $149 per user. Add the forever repair or replace warranty, and you never have to buy another PC. Buy with confidence, knowing there is no contract, only a month-to-month agreement. With an amazing 30-day full money-back guarantee. It's a simple, secure savings. Never buy another PC again. Call today 205-251-5966 or visit neverbuyanotherpc.com.
Well, UAB and small businesses, to move to the next slide, I want to thank you for your time today. And if there's any questions or if you ever want to reach out to me, I have my information listed below. Phone number, you can call me directly as well, or check out any of our websites that we have and get to us as well. And also my email address is listed there. So if you have any questions in the chat, please let me know.
Yeah, actually you do. I love the idea of never buying another PC or a computer. But there's a question for you, Chris. I actually have two questions. One question is, what do you recommend we purchase for viruses in their email account? That was from Ms. LeVay. Had a question for you about, do you have certain recommendations for viruses in your account?
All right, we got to get those viruses out that account. We need to first get it cleaned up. I recommend for businesses, at a minimum, everyone, I would say every 6 months to a year, you got to get a tune-up. Just like you get a tune-up with your cars, or you go to get some maintenance done on your car every quarter or so, just to get oil. If you don't have the oil in there, it's not going to run. Same things work with your computers, And what we did, even with our solution, try to not worry about that, take that away from you on that maintenance piece. But if you're going to have your computers, get the cleanup done every so often. Make sure things clean up, then have you a good antivirus in place, active at all times. And then with the emails come with good email filtering that you want to have. So really find you a good antivirus. We utilize F-Secure as one of our main ones. There's many of them out there. They're not all equal, but I'd love to have a conversation with you on that as well to go farther.
Okay, Chris, we have several questions in the chat. So we want you to make sure you go to the chat and help answer those questions for us. But I do want you to answer this one, because we're getting this a lot more, that on our cell phones, we're getting a lot more spam. And Leah has said, what about spam text to phones? I'm not sure how this started on an iPhone. So any thoughts around that?
Yeah, so you're gonna get more spam. They actually said, you get these spam calls, this is spam texts. Over the years, these cell phones are actually mini computers that you're, put on your hip and have with you all the time. So just as virus can be infected there on your regular laying laptop or desktop, same applies. Therefore, you're seeing people selling now, actual antivirus for your phone, things of nature to have on your phone as well. And it's amazing. The biggest misconception and myth I hear out there that, hey, I have a Mac or I have an iPhone, I can't ever get any viruses. Well, I say this to you, Apple does a great job marketing. I love marketing. I love to see that really well. I'm not the best marketer in the world, but I tell you what, they are, because that's the misconception that people say that in the marketing, they say that you can never get a PC virus. Well, you're right, because they're not PCs, Macs are, and iPhones. But the thing about it is anyone can get a virus. It's always best to make sure you have, like I said, technology is not the biggest thing. You got to know and be able to understand that some things that don't look right, don't click on it, don't be click happy, and just take those few extra seconds to really see what's going on there.
Alice, I believe your headphones are no longer working.
Audio, okay. You have an iPhone charger, either one of y'all? Okay, can you still hear me or no?
I hear you now.
I hear you now.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get these recharged up, but we are gonna go ahead and be moving with the next presenter. I'm so excited to welcome Tronix International. Edmund Ty is gonna be here, but let me tell you a little bit more about Tronix beforehand. And so Tronix International is a leading brand and manufacturer of PPE products, offering comprehensive line of disposable gloves, apparel, and face masks. Tronix has delivered these products and leading products around the country in various industries such as national healthcare, hospitality, and the food service industries for over 3 decades. They are passionate about their services and responsiveness to excellence. Since 2016, they've been a customer or been a supplier of UAVs for their system-wide medical exam glove supply program. So with that being said, I want to welcome Edmund to come and talk a little bit more about Tronix International at this session today. So Edmund?
Great. Yes, thank you so much, Alice, and appreciate the introduction. And thank UAB and for all of you on the call today, on the meeting today, for your precious time and for the opportunity to introduce a little bit about Tronix International. Next slide, please, Alice. So Tronix was founded in 1989, almost 33 years ago, really in the midst of the AIDS crisis, with the great vision to become a world-class marketing, manufacturing, and distribution enterprise. Our model and our brand model really merges a superior quality customized product lines with passionate service and responsiveness culture. So for over the 3 decades, Tronix has really steadily grown, double digits year over year, and really emerged as one of the most well-respected and trusted national brands and leading providers of a full range of PPE products. Next slide, please. So our global headquarters are located in northern New Jersey, but we actually today have 4 major warehouses across the nation that serve all corners of the United States, including the Birmingham, Alabama region, most efficiently from our Savannah, Georgia distribution center and warehouse. We also have warehouses also in New Jersey, in northern New Jersey, in Dallas, Texas, and Sparks, Nevada. We also have an Asia Pacific headquarters in Hong Kong and an operations center in China. Next slide, please. Our focused industries are across 4 major verticals. The national healthcare industry and the major health systems are really the leading edge for the company and have been since the beginning. Tronix today partners with each of the 3 largest group purchasing organizations, or GPOs, in the healthcare industry and numerous major health systems. Of course, present company included UAB Hospital and Health System, who has been an honor partner with us for now coming up on 7 years. Our Safety Solutions division handles the hospitality and the food service industries, and we partner with a number of the Fortune 100 and 500 major brands for their full US or North America, mostly disposable glove, food safe glove programs. We also have a government division as well as a consumer products division that's in partnership with Cardinal Pharmaceutical to serve currently over 12,000 retail and independent pharmacies across the nation. Next slide, please. We have a complete range of medical-based PPE products, including a full range of examination gloves, disposable isolation gowns, lab coats, headwear and footwear, coveralls and scrubs, and also a full range of masks, N95 respirators, and elastic bandages. Next slide, please. As far as our non-medical offerings, we have a full range of disposable food-safe gloves for all types of hospitality, food service, also EVS, facilities management applications, and also do some custom pandemic kits and preparations. Next slide, please. So the Tronics system is really a totally aligned, fully vertically integrated global supply chain model. So we've really continually perfected this through the past 32 plus years in really high performance delivery excellence as these products and our precious customers continually demand, in that the quality consistency, the quality level, and the supply consistency must remain at 100% all the time and as best feasible and possible globally, even through major pandemics as the one that we are just coming through. Next slide, please. And lastly, these are just some of our selected achievements and awards to highlight, both from the major GPOs in the healthcare market, as well as 18-year consecutive Supplier of the Excellence Award from Cardinal Pharmaceutical, and also some recognition from our major non-medical brands and partners. Next slide. And thank you very much again for your time and for your attention. And we're honored for this potential opportunity to present our capabilities.
All right, thank you so much, Edmund. You know, you can't get away without me asking you a question. Sure. Because we know for sure that we're kind of, I don't know if we say we're coming out of the pandemic, but at least we're more well aware what the pandemic has done to change our behaviors. And so based on Tronics, can you tell me that how businesses on the call and those who have friends and colleagues can still be prepared for the pandemic and be, you know, looking forward to see how we can remain safe in this current environment?
Absolutely, and thank you for the question, Alice. Well, now that we're through the initial kind of panic and frenzy of obtaining PPE for all walks of life and in all aspects that many didn't even exist in terms of a need prior to the pandemic, really the forward look now for all organizations and departments and divisions is really to gauge what those PPE needs might be for the near term, mid-term, and the long term. As you continue to conduct business, as you continue to conduct operations. So a partner like Tronics and other majors in the market are real ones that could work with you to look at what types of PPE to plan inventories and to plan production, which is really the key to ensuring that moving forward, that there is steady supply of high quality products that are able to support for all anticipated needs and demands for protection and for safety.
So Edmund, would you recommend that we go ahead and stock up now, just in case, on some of these additional, you know, just because we're looking at opportunity, being prepared for those opportunities that may come, or hopefully not ever another pandemic, but just wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Yes, stockpiling PPE is an amazing phenomenon, as many have seen in the healthcare industry and also outside. Really, the objective, we believe, is to keep a certain level of stock on hand. Overstocking PPE can be tough because once the supply is there to overstock, the demand, especially, you know, recovering from a pandemic, usually disappears for many years. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be gone, but once it disappears, the stockpile tends to sit and it takes up space. Probably the best strategy is to develop a plan and to work with a supplier that's long-term in understanding what those needs might be. And we, as a major manufacturer, can gauge and plan our production to support those potential needs in the future without organizations needing to stock up and hold and worry about keeping large volumes of PPE for times that they really don't know if they're going to come in terms of demand. So, but it's an excellent question. And, you know, and it's really comes down to a planning process.
Okay, we'll just keep your number on speed dial. How about that?
Great, that sounds wonderful. Yes, we're here to talk through anything and answer questions if we can.
All right, so look, make sure we get all the people who are in UAB's line today, because these are great vendors. So excited about you, Edmund. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, or this morning still. So yes. Look, I'm excited to bring up our next supplier in the showcase here, 3G Chemical Solutions, because they have been around for years already in Birmingham, and she actually is a supplier of industrial chemicals and disinfectant and sterilization of facilities. And so 3G Chemical Solution has been in business for about 5 years and is led by none other than Aaliyah Shipman, founder and CEO. I remember we met Leah some years ago when you were just starting your business. So I'm excited to hear more about your expansion and excited for you to tell us how you can supply services and products to UAB. So 3G Chemical Solutions, take it away.
Thank you, Alice. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know if I'll ever get used to having to do this, but we're gonna do our best this morning. Yes. But thank you to you and also to UAB for putting this opportunity together for us. You can go to the next slide. 3G Chemical Solutions was founded in 2016, and we were founded basically out of a need because, and I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna tell you a little bit story. I worked for another company for about 10 years, and the owner came to me and said, you know, she wasn't necessarily happy with some of the things that were going on with different accounts. And she basically told me that, you know, I can take every account from you. And so that was almost the light bulb to me to say, okay, if she can control, you know, my destiny and my future, then maybe I need to put this destiny in my own hands and control it myself. So in 2016, 3G Chemical Solutions was founded, and the name 3G comes from my 3 children, Gavin, Gia, and Garrison, who've been very instrumental in pushing me out the door for the last 5 years to make sure that I build this organization to where I want it to be. Since 2016, 3G has been able to become certified in 8 different states. We're MWBE, we're WOSB, certified, and we are also women business enterprise certified as well. And we were able to go through a couple of programs that were really essential to the growth of 3G, and that was the SBA Emerging Leaders Program and the 2019 Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, as well as the Alabama Power Growth Smart Program. You can go to the next slide. So our vision basically, and who we are is we are a company that provides environmentally friendly and safe products. We've been able to, since the pandemic, to offer our customers disinfecting and sanitizing solutions for their facilities, and also to be able to go in on those emergency type cleanup situations that were happening so often during the height of the pandemic. You can go to the next slide. So our vision is to become a leader in the industrial supply industry. What we're focused on right now and what we're working with our mentors and our team is coming together to facilitate a plan to hopefully within the next 3 to 5 years, open up our own manufacturing facility where we're able to supply and provide our own private label products. You can go to the next slide. Some of our core competencies, we've been able to work closely with small municipalities and their sewerage systems, providing them sewer solvents and degreasers and solutions for their sewer systems. Also, we work closely with providing them all types of products, and that's from gloves to, again, sanitizing solutions, disinfectants, solvents, lubricants, fleet maintenance type products, and then also coming up with some type of cleaning, a customizable cleaning program for their facility that fits their needs. And here are just a list of some of our past performances. We also were able, during the height of the pandemic, was to provide about 10,000 cases of disinfectant wipes to one of the facilities here in Birmingham. So that was an awesome opportunity, unfortunately, during such a catastrophic event, but it was an awesome opportunity for 3G to be able to show its abilities. Next slide. And then this is just some of our company data. Those are our NAICS codes, which we currently hold. And again, our certifications that we hold. Next slide. Uh-oh, that one didn't come through. Well, that last slide was basically talking about what 3G currently offers in our warehouse, and that would be also PPE supply products, disinfecting wipes, degreasers, sanitizer, any of the needs. I love to tell my sales reps when they're out in the field that if they have 4 walls, a floor, and a ceiling, we could probably provide a solution for them. And that's it, Alice.
Okay, very good. Well, Aaliyah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And it probably could have been my error that you didn't see that last slide. But let me ask you a question, because this is so important. I didn't even know the name 3G was so special and kind of personal for you. So yeah. One of the people said, beautiful story, love the company name. But I do have to ask you a question. You are certified in 8 different locations, 8 different states. And so as a business owner, we know certification has value, that's for sure. And we're really excited that we have Lance Mitchell, who's been on with Webec South, and how they are definitely certifying women-owned businesses. And I think I saw BCIA as well with Michael Bell too. But as a woman-owned business in the industrial chemicals area in particular, what have you found is like the most difficult thing that you found to try to find projects that you would go after? What has been the most difficult process of it all?
So, I mean, like anything, as a small minority firm, the question always comes up, is your capability? Are you able to either provide or do the project that a particular organization is looking for? So for me, it is more so about making sure that we show them our competencies and our abilities to be able to provide whatever solutions. I mean, hey, in any situation, opportunity is good in a crisis, but you want opportunity outside of that as well. And so 3G was able to prove their abilities when the pandemic hit. Some major corporations weren't able to source products from some of their local suppliers or major suppliers who had been supplying and they had contracts with. And so they had to look at 3G as, put us under the microscope to say, are you able to do this? And we were successfully able to supply the products that they needed. So the biggest thing with that is to, give these small firms an opportunity to show that we are capable.
And you've definitely done that. As a matter of fact, I'm really excited. I see also too, we have SRMSDC representative on the line as well. So we have all the different certification agencies on, and we were so thankful for them being a part of this because they've helped your business for sure. And so Aaliyah, thank you so much for the opportunity to present your company today, 3G Chemical Solutions. They are looking to do more business here at UAB, and they're here for that. So there's also information in the chat that gives you her contact information, how to find her. So I would highly suggest you copy and paste that and keep that close by. There's actually some other information here as well. As soon as you can, or even before, have a one-pager ready to slide across the screen. Awesome presentation. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. And now we're getting ready for our next presenter on Cox Commercial Interior. Before I go to them, I want to also remind you that this afternoon at 1 o'clock, the concurrent sessions begin. So you'll have a chance to choose from session 1, 2, and 3. We'll tell you more about those, but we don't want you to miss them because that's going to be the time when you really try to figure out how to expand your business into this current organization here. So just want to give you a little commercial break about that. But Cox Interiors, I met this lady when I moved here, she was in creative arts. And so she continues to be in the creative space where now she's into furniture and furnishings and really putting together these beautiful spaces. So Cox Commercial Interiors is a full service furniture dealership servicing customers throughout the state of Alabama. They provide custom grade furnishings for education opportunities as far as people like UAB, healthcare, hospitality industry, and those faith-based and corporate communities. So they have a comprehensive list of manufacturers. And I really will tell you that when you bring Ophelia Cox and her team in, it will be done with excellence. It will be dynamic and it will be beautiful. So I'm really excited to get a chance to introduce Ophelia Cox to speak with you this afternoon about Cox Interior. So Ophelia, it is your show. I think you're muted.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Alice. Thank you and the UAB team. This has been wonderful and much needed. So sometimes you're feeling like you're out here all along on this little island, and especially now since COVID, you know. So to just be integrated with this program has been great. So as Alice mentioned, we are a full-fledged furniture dealership here in Birmingham. We are DBE certified, and UAB is currently one of our largest clients. So we will go, that's part of our team. We have interior designers, project management, and account executives. Next slide. On the contract for UAB, you can see we have a plethora of manufacturers where we can go and specify furniture to provide and fulfill their needs. Next slide. We are also an interior design firm. So, you know, you have to think outside the box, and a lot of furniture dealerships do not offer that as an added service. So we decided to fill that niche, and as such, we are now IDIQ. We're on the IDIQ contract for UAB, which is one of their, I guess, outside interior designers. So if they need something that facilities is too overwhelmed with or can't get to, then we are on that contract to provide the interior design services. We are some of our certifications, woman-owned and DBE certified as well. Next slide. Now, next you will see, because a picture is 1,000 words, next you will see some installations that we performed around the state. Here are some from UAB. So we are into making your conference spaces beautiful, your office spaces, your computer rooms, break rooms, all of that. And next slide. Just again, some various installations. Next slide. Some more installation photographs. Conferencing is really big and everybody's in the sit to stand, so we can provide. What we'd like to do too is be more of a consultative, take more of a consultative approach, if you will, to our project. So we sit and we listen intently, and then we come back and recommend what we think will work best for your space. Next slide. And again, from offices to collaborative spaces to touchdown spaces, we do all of that. Next slide. That's just how you can contact us. So please, we are doing business with UAB and we are wanting to do more. So thank you so much. Can't hear you, Alice.
Okay, I'm charging at the same time, so sorry about that. I do have a question for you, Ophelia, that, you know, we're in this day and age when we all have various things that we have to be comfortable. I like a lot of lumbar support. So how do you make sure you go into an office and fix it up so it's ergonomically, you know, comfortable for the coworkers that are there? How do you, I mean, what's some of the process that you do about that?
Well, you know, that's part of that consultation that we do and provide the client early on, because we do think that, you know, we're in our offices and people are sitting in their chairs a lot. So that chair is very important. And we can also bring sample chairs to them. We also can recommend, because we do realize, and we know our product. So we can look at someone and we talk to them and see where their pressure points are during the day. And then we can come back and recommend. They can also get a chance to test them. We can just recommend. And a lot of times they will go with our recommendation as well, because we are skilled at specifying the right products.
Mm-hmm. And on your website, can we see different types of furniture that you offer?
Yeah, you know, we used to go out more, and I'm just going to digress a little bit because I wanted to mention this, into the offices. But now with COVID and everything, we're doing more Zoom, and that Zoom has just been awesome for us because it's allowing us to touch more clients and to grow at a more, you know, rapid pace, because instead of wasting time here and fro and going there, we can just pull up the computer, and that's been wonderful. So, and out of this tragedy, as someone mentioned earlier, there's been a silver lining for some of us.
Mm-hmm. I do think you're right that, you know, we've come out of COVID in a unique situation that we all should be better, by what we've learned and the things we've been able to do. So I know there's a lot of tragedy, but I'm just I'm encouraged by what I'm hearing this morning. So thank you so much, Ophelia. Cox Commercial Interior. If you need a call, if you need furniture, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And so one part of what we really always have to think about is the money. How do we make sure that we are prepared for the investment of resources in particular, and how to manage those resources? So that's why we need Wallace Capital Funding to be able to help us. So they're under the direction of CEO Dominique Wallace, and he's operated this business since 2002. So the services that he offers include business financing, which is a major issue. We talked about that all morning. Equipment financing, which is something that's a little bit unique that I hope he'll explain a little bit more about it, or equipment leasing, and then real estate financing. So this is someone that you really need to take a listen to, really smart on the idea of funding and money. So I'm gonna let you take it away, Dominique, because you can do a much better job than I can, but so excited that you're here this morning with us.
Yeah, thanks, Alice. And I am so excited to be with everyone. And yeah, access to capital, working capital was a big topic this morning, and I love to talk more about it. So the first slide, it says, so what does Wallace Capital Funding and some of the major banks have in common? So go to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So if you could click on, if you can go to this sbfe.org. I don't know if we have that clicked up, if we can go to that website. So a lot of people will think, well, what is different between you guys and just going to the bank? And what I'll do is maybe we'll see if we can put it in the chat. That way people, yeah, okay. So has anybody ever heard of the Small Business Financial Exchange? And if you're not, it's okay, because if I talk to 100 people, maybe only one person has heard of it. And then the next question would be, well, why are you asking me to go to that website? If you could scroll down to the bottom of the screen for me, all the way to, so you'll see some of the members. You see American Express there, Bank of America, Capital One, Wells Fargo. Those are some organizations you've heard of. And right to the left of Wells Fargo, you'll see us there listed there. And I show that for you for two different reasons. Well, one, hopefully to bring some credibility to you, and then two, to kind of illustrate a little bit about what we do. So several months ago, a client came to us, and she's an engineer in an architecture firm and does a lot of business locally in municipalities and all over the state and directly with the state, even some federal work. And she came to us and she said, help. And then of course I said, well, what? She's like, hey, I sent my invoice in, and we probably talked about this, and it takes me 10 business days to get paid on, but now it's taking me 30, 45, 60 days now to get paid on. And can you help me out? And then we said, well, and we looking at her customer base, we say, yeah, no problem. We know that some of your customers are going to pay slow, but we'll go ahead and give you a receivable-based line of credit. So as much as you can print some of these invoices off, we'll know that you'll have access to capital. Now, one of the things, so what does that have to do with the Small Business Financial Exchange? If you could, can you click certified vendors for me up on the top, the second one from the top, and then scroll down a little bit here. And so if you keep going down some, please. Yeah, keep going. And if you where it goes. So what we do right there. So what we do is we report to the Small Business Financial Exchange, and then they report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and LexisNexis. Now, I'm sure that you've heard, well, all the businesses have heard of at least 3 of those. For some of the non-businesses, probably heard of at least 2 of those. And so and what happened was, so we report, not only reporting to that organization, we were giving her some of the financing that she needs, but also we take an approach that is beyond the money. So some financial institutions, they just focus on just only giving you the money, but our focus is in making sure that you have the right tool that profitably operate your business. So we were looked at, we have a CFO on our team, a CPA, and we looked at our financials, and we saw that there was a few things that she can tweak in her business to be more profitable. So not only we provide the financing that she needed, but also for the cash to operate and make payroll, and she had a building and so forth. But we also helped her to be more profitable. And then, of course, as you see here, we helped her improve her credit profile. And what ended up happening was, you can go to the next slide, we provided, if you can go back to the slide presentation for me when you get a chance. And so next slide, please. So what we ended up doing is we provided close to $250,000 worth of working capital for her business. So next slide. So when you let's just say you don't have invoices right now for whatever, you have actually a purchase order, you have or a contract, and you have an opportunity to actually provide your goods and services. What we can do is actually, we can fund your supplier directly. And even though you don't have the funds, they can drop ship and then invoice, and and then you can make your needs and go off to the sunset. So like, even if you don't have invoices, we have a way to help you. So next slide, please. So what makes us different from the bank and non-traditional financial institutions? A lot of time, the bank is looking at what you've done in the past. We're focused on the future opportunities to figure out how we can help you. So like over the pandemic, we had a client that was paying $25,000 a month on a $250,000 loan, and we were able to refinance that. So now they're only paying $3,000 a month in payments. So we saved them a whole lot of money. So we're focused on that profitability. So next slide, please. And on the commercial real estate side, so let's just say if you're on here and you say, I want to invest in real estate, we can help you do that. Or you're trying to buy your first building. A lot of times our payments are less to the bank, because typically the bank is usually providing a term on a 15 or 20 month term. And a lot of times we're able to provide a 30-year AM loan. So with some of our real estate investors that we help, we even have some startups, and we do this all over the country. Next slide, please. Our best working capital loan program that we have is actually a 10-year term, prime plus 2 3/4 loans, but there's no prepayment penalty, and it's unsecured. So you don't have to put up real estate or anything like that for that. And we did this recently for an attorney, $150,000 that he had to help his business. Next slide, please. Now, we also work with larger projects rather on equipment leasing side. So like we had the Birmingham Business Alliance referred us to a company that is looking to locate here. They're actually a German company and that kind of stuff, trying to get connected in the community. And so we're working with them to get a $10 million machine that they're looking to do business with here locally. So we can also work on the big projects, also working on the big hotel project, $15 million in Virginia. And so our mission, we're passionate about growing and providing the resources a business needs to not only be a pillar for their families, but the community as well as their favorite charities. We like companies that want to sow into community. And that's why we love working within this UAB community, because they've been giving back with the ASL program and that kind of thing. So we love working with companies that have the same mission. And our mastery is we help business owners and real estate investors get access to capital in the shortest period of time with minimum efforts, but maximum profits. And our motivation is also, next slide, please, is to share our proprietary tool that pre-qualifies your business for the financing that you seek. It's actually a tool made up of the underwriting criteria of the top banks, and it's a financial stress test for your business. It gets your answers to the test It's like the PSAT for the SAT. And we have a special master class that goes over this at thekeysforbusiness.com. And we're also hosting a summit. It's called the Keys for Business Summit, Money, Marketing, and Profitability. And it's a free summit that you can go to talk about that, because a lot of times we're trying to figure out what's that one thing missing in our business. Is it customers, funding, or the right resources? Last slide, please. And that's where you can get connected with us. And I'm looking forward to helping you as best I can. Thank you very much.
All right, Dominique, incredible job. Thank you so much for this information. But I do have a question for you. First, you're getting some great kudos here. So someone wants you to go back to slide 2 or 2 slides, Leah. You want the list of services that he offers? That was something that was asked of you to maybe go back 1 or 2 slides. But certainly, Dominique, for those people who are really trying to find out, that they need these services, they really want some help, because this is a key area. What are the first 2 or 3 pieces of documents that they need to assemble right now before they come see you?
So we also work with startups too. So when we do the business funding analysis, that's kind of, we're gathering all the information, obviously your financials. We find a lot of times the bank statements also tell a really good story of the business. And, obviously tax returns and the applications and so forth that we look into. But we're looking at you holistically, being that either if it's a business loan or asset-based financing, like factoring that Shannon mentioned before. That's how we first got started. And then but that's basically some of the information. But like I tell people, we'll help you with all that. Just give us a call and we'll do our best to meet you where you are.
Okay. Well, obviously, a lot of people are interested in talking to you. So you should probably go to the chat after we finish and make sure you connect with some of these people, because they're really interested in getting your services. So thank you so much, Dominique. Thank you for being a resource in this community and for all the great things that you do.
All right. Thanks, Alice.
All right. So after our next presenter, we're going to have a quick video that we'll show, but I'm so excited to hear from this dynamic lady here from Tate and Associates, LLC. They were founded by none other than Melva Tate, and she's the president and CEO of the organization that was founded in September of 2008. So they've been around for a long time doing great work. I'm really excited to talk about some of the services that she offers, which include organizational development, strategic planning, team training, leadership coaching. Of course, she's an excellent at HR as well, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. So please join me in welcoming my friend also from Tate and Associates, Miss Melva Tate. Melva, it is your show.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much for this opportunity, to you and UAB for putting this on. I'm glad to help spotlight Tate and Associates. I love to say that we are a boutique human resources and organizational consulting firm. We're small by design and by nature. That allows us to be very agile and flexible to create some customized services for our select clients. So we help select those clients. That's why we always call them partners. So when you get Tate and Associates, you also get me. And that's one of the unique values that I bring to the organization as well. So I'm intimately involved in all of the projects that we do. That's a question that we get asked often, because all of my business is based on referrals. So I always get asked, are you going to be a part of the project? And of course, my answer is yes. So I've been called the Olivia Pope of HR in Birmingham. So I'm proud to do that. And so to share a little bit about my background, as Alice mentioned, I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I've just lived in the world of human resource management and organizational management. And I love, been doing this for 30 years. I know I don't look like it, but yes, I've been in this field for a long time and very passionate about it. So I'm certified in human resource management. I'm certified as a life coach. I'm certified in DISC facilitation to work with teams. I bring all that experience from starting in the US Navy as a military person to running a corporate HR department and then have been in business, as you mentioned, for about 13 years. So that is kind of what we do. Next slide, please, if you will. So customization is our specialty. You know, we work with organizations and project consultants that help support our business who have 100+ years of human resources, training and development, and organizational experience. So we bring a strong team to help find solutions for your organization. And here's the thing, if it's not in our lane, if it's not what we really do, we have a great referral network because we believe in building relationships where relationships matter, and whether we can be the solution to your problem or someone else that's a part of our network, we want to help you find a solution. So where there are people that most people will say they're problems, we say that there are possibilities. And so we get to work with organizations in a variety of fields. So whether that's working with an organization, a franchise organization like Taziki's, working with a manufacturing company like Mercedes-Benz, working with some of our great nonprofits right here in Birmingham, like Railroad Park, or the United Way of Central Alabama. We get to work with municipalities like the city of Sylacauga or Irondale or Tuskegee. And then fun organizations like Alabama Public Television and the Sesame Street people, or even the new baseball team that's in Alabama, the Huntsville Trash Pandas. So they were our first sports team. So I like to say that we help cultivate people and the places that they work, because people need good jobs and they also need good environments to work in. So whether we're working with larger organizations, again, on special projects, smaller organizations where they're outsourced HR department like Amibella Wellness, and we're also that HR on demand. You got that burning HR question that's in that gray area, you give us a call, we have a solution for you. Next slide, please. But what was so interesting when Alice invited me to be a part of this was to realize how many colleges and universities that we work with during our time. A lot of them right here in Sweet Home, Alabama. But we've also worked with colleges and universities in Mississippi and in Georgia as well. A lot of HBCUs, all of these organizations bring a lot of different unique challenges and opportunities for us. And we have been just very grateful to find solutions for them. Next slide, please. So what I like to say is that we usually separate the work that we do, particularly around colleges and universities, in two buckets. Their culture and compliance issues. So we consider ourselves culture and compliance experts. So what does that look like? Training and development. So we do a lot, and luckily we work with UAB on some training and development. I think it was a couple of years ago, we worked with the facilities group on and their administrative team on generations in the workplace, because they had a lot of senior people and a lot of new people coming on board, wanted to know how they could mesh and gel well together. So we got to work with them. We were in Mobile last month with Bishop State, working on training and development, team building, and customer service for them. Organizational assessments, we do that well, have done that with Morehouse College and Alabama A&M, some diversity and inclusion and equity partnerships, and even some strategic planning, as Alice mentioned, and implementation. So we have just launched a project with Bishop State on that as well. We also do a lot in the compliance area. So whether that's Title VII issues around discrimination and harassment, Title IX issues where it relates to students, employee relations that are not quite in those title issues, but still need some resolutions, organizations who have grievance processes, as well as doing a lot of compliance training as well. So listen, we love what we do. And there are a couple of people who said we're bona fide in what we do. So last year we were awarded the 2020 Hoover Area Chamber of Commerce Small Business of the Year. So we're very proud of that. This year, I was named as one of the Birmingham Business Journal's leaders in diversity and inclusion. So again, we just love helping organizations move their mission forward with the talent that they need, who are structured the right way from their cultural and compliance standpoint. So we want to help develop your culture and keep you out of trouble. So my contact information is below. I'd love to help you. Again, if it's just a one-off call to say, I don't know what this means. We did a lot of work around the FFCRA due to COVID, helping organizations navigate that. So if you got a problem, we probably got a solution, and we don't have a solution, we've got a partner that could help you. So I love to connect with you. My contact information is below. Hey, and I've got a unique name, so all you got to do is Google me. Just Google Melva Tate, we can get connected. Alice, UAB, thank you guys for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I certainly want to make sure we put your information in the chat there, because Melva, you are someone we really can't be without. We have to always call you, and I'm so excited that you and I have been talking about working together a little bit closer. So I'm so looking forward to that opportunity. You bring such energy, but also so much professionalism to what you do. And so I just can't thank you enough. I do have a question though. In the environment that we're currently experiencing, you know, diversity and inclusion has taken a front seat in so many areas and so many companies. How do you kind of first start having the dialogue to help change a culture, which is the hardest thing to do in an organization? What are like your first step or two that you would do, just so you can give us an idea?
It's working with leadership. You know, it's ironic that today we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's death, unfortunately, but it has really changed the landscape and scope of how we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion in the work environment. It all starts with leadership. Leadership has got to be committed. There are a bunch of organizations who will have diversity and inclusion statements or programs, but there's not a lot of teeth around it. And so when I go in, I say, is leadership truly committed? And then we can work from that standpoint. But leadership has to be committed to the process. And it's not a one-off event. Don't think you can just do diversity and inclusion training and check the box and think that that's it, because it needs to filter down from your area around supplier diversity, from community diversity, recruitment and talent acquisition. All of those things are critically important to having a very robust diversity, equity, and inclusion program.
All right. Well, Melva Tate, thank you so much for being here. You have my favorite color on as well. So you're already in style. So look, we're going to have a short commercial break, and I want to just give you an idea. This is actually a video that I want to share with you. So just stick around for that. We're going to cue it up for you as we're talking now. This video will tell you more about the Academic and Small Business Alliance program that UAB is notable for. And I just want to give you a sneak peek about the information and what they've been doing to help businesses for years now. So take a listen.
I met with his advisor, and she kind of told me a little bit about the program, and I thought this would be really fun. I wish I would have had this. And so I said, I think this would be a great step for the student and our practice.
Obviously, like resume boosting, it sets me apart from other people that haven't had the same experience that I'm getting here, as well as just broadening my horizon, just like seeing other fields.
Providing all these different tools for his toolbox to get him to that next chapter of his life is really exciting, and I'm excited that we're a part of that. So I think every business could definitely benefit from this. I mean, it opens their eyes and your eyes, and you see things in a different way.
The opportunity to have an intern to work with me in particular as a very, very small business. I primarily only have one employee, and that employee is myself. So having an intern to provide assistance is definitely ideal. The publicity of being a part of the program is extremely beneficial. To have the camaraderie with other business owners has been tremendous.
I recommend ASPA all the time, all the time. My friends, they're always like, hey, Tamia, what are you doing? I'm gonna go to my internship. It's a blast. Even when I have to go to town meetings, I always bring a friend with me. Hey, come on, let's go to a town meeting with me. I have to do it for my internship. You'll learn a lot of things. I've probably persuaded maybe 5 or 6 people already to apply for the next upcoming ASPA program.
I went to UAB. I'm an engineering graduate from UAB, and you get all the theory. You get great theory, but when you get in the real world environment, that's where you get real world application. It's how do you take that theory and put it into a real set of construction drawings? So it's been a little eye-opening for him. He's had a lot of questions. What do I really need to show on plans? And I feel like we've started to really connect the dots for him. I think it's a win-win for everybody because they get to learn, real engineering practices. Helps you so much in the classroom. And then for us, we can build a catalog of potential new hires, people that already know how we do things, understand, what shoals in the business to do.
For international students, sometimes getting internship is pretty tough.
So this program made it easier for me to do it. And most of these companies are not that big, so you have the chance to actually talk to people and ask questions and learn quickly. So having a whole program that can help you and kind of link you up to this work world is fantastic.
All right, so you know, you don't have to take my word for it. You heard it from the people who are in the program. I'm so excited. Several of them are on the call today. I love hearing from the students. It is so fun because they're so energized about learning these new professional skills. And that's what the ASPER program has been able to do for them. So thank you so much, School of Health Profession, School of Business, College of Arts and Science, of course. We just so appreciate you, School of Engineering. We couldn't do it without you with the ASPER program. So with that being said, our next presenter is coming up, and they're none other than Christian Brothers. And let me pull up my information here a little bit on them. I got so wrapped up into the video, I forgot my place. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so Christian Brothers is a Christian Brothers Facility Management Group. They were founded in 2017. They are a veteran-owned small business located here in Birmingham under the direction of the CEO, Ms. Crystal Neville. The key products and services they offer includes commercial cleaning and, of course, pressure washing, among other facility services. So I'm so excited to have you here, Crystal, to tell us more about.
Well, hello. Thank you so much, Alice, for having me in UAB. This is truly an opportunity that I'm grateful to have. We can go directly into the slides for me to get started. We've been in business for his experience, should I say, for over 25 years. My husband and I has just decided when he said, I wanted a company, I want to do something, you know, and he's been into hospital cleaning for us being a floor tech since we've been married. My experience started being in the military myself as in the U.S. Coast Guard and serving in the U.S. Coast Guard. Anybody that's been in the military know you're going to know how to clean by the time you leave there, because one of our taglines is we offer a military clean experience. So being a locally owned company, veteran owned and minority owned, we love what we do. We love to be able to offer the services to people, to companies, and to be able to help them walk into their facility knowing that it is germ-free, sanitized, and ready to receive them as well as their clients. Next slide, please. Well, one of our services has been that we offer services for critical care spaces, educational facilities, hospitals, office building, and mining companies. Now, let me tell you about that critical care. Critical care was actually a UAB opportunity where we was able to go into, I believe it's called the Proton Building, and we were able to actually offer them the services that they need. That gave us so much honor, because they told us when we got that contract is that you have to go into this facility and make sure that no dust is anywhere, because in doing so, we're making sure that when they actually put someone into that proton equipment, that they'll be safe and nothing will be array. So I was so grateful to have that opportunity and to be able to go in there and get a well done, that no dust was anywhere. Our team made sure that we serviced them well. And our other one that we did such a great job on, that we had this company until unfortunately they went bankrupt, is to go from office buildings, hospital buildings to mining companies. We really know how to be diversified in that. So if you could just think about, you go into a clean setting as a hospital space, and then you go into a mining company where you have dirt and grime everywhere and have to keep that type of facility clean. And to be able to do it, had that contract for over 5 years, like I said, until unfortunately they went bankrupt. But it was a very great opportunity. Next slide, please. Just want to be able to show you how much we care about what we do. You know, we're passionate about it. I want you all to take a look at the before and after on the urinal down at the bottom. Now, some people, I see your face, Alice. Some people will look at that and be like,
sorry, you caught me.
Yeah. Some people will look at that and be like, oh my gosh, I don't know. But with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, we gonna get that clean. And if you look at that first one to that last one, we didn't, and the one in the middle, I like to say that one in the middle, you still seen some stuff was still up in there. We wanted to make sure that when it came back, one of our things is that we transform spaces. We wanted them to know, no, we can get that clean. Now look at that, the sink. Nobody would believe the people were telling us, no, that's not gonna come off. And I wanna give a shout out to 3G Chemicals. We use some of their products. They have a product called Mineral Shock. That's a game changer for us because you can't put a lot of different chemicals on surfaces such as the faucet and not tarnish it. But we can use our Mineral Shock that's from 3G and be able to completely let them know, no, you don't have to go and get another faucet. We can truly get that clean for you. So you can see from the before and the after what we were able to do. And then up at the top, we don't normally clean homes. We only would do that for move-ins and move-outs. But also if we have a customer that has corporate housing, we would service them if they have corporate housing. So this was one of the mining company that we had a contract with. They had corporate homes, and that shower before, and then what we were able to do with that shower after. So when we say that we use quality chemicals, because that's number one, we don't go to Dollar General or Walmart to get our chemicals. We pay top dollars for the chemicals to be able to offer our clients what they need. We truly transform spaces, and we really do offer our customers a military clean experience. We want to make sure every dust, dirt, and grime is removed from the facility. You can go to the next slide, please. And that's it. This is who we are. We're Christian Brothers Facility Management Group. We are family owned and operated. We have about 7 to 8 employees that works with us. We're happy to say that our 2 older sons is actually in the company with us, as well as other employees. We go from stripping and waxing floors, window washing, office cleaning, pressure washing. If you need it clean, sanitized, and done right, we're here to serve you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hi, Crystal. Yeah, you caught me when you had those pictures. And then, and then the Alabama hard water, you're so right. So I'm so happy to hear about this new product. And so I don't know if Aaliyah is still on, but I certainly want to see if you can send us a picture or a link or something. We can buy that product. I know it's probably it's a chemical product. So we probably can't purchase it for individual homes, but I certainly would like that because we have hard water.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Crystal. So I would just ask you, during the pandemic, how are you guys able to continue moving things forward? Because you kind of started your business a few years beforehand, but you were still new.
Well, we actually started the company prior to the 2017 or 18, but then we went through a name change. So then from the name change, because we really started as Christian Brother Janitorial Service. And then we wanted to advance into also offering facility management, where we can go in and once you hire us, if you need a painter, if you need a electrician, if you need a lawn care person, we can take care of everything for you. So that's when the name change came in and we went to the 2017.
Okay, got it. Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I know you're very busy, but having a military type clean says a whole lot. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All righty. So my next person that's up is actually a friend of mine as well. I just happen to know several of you, and then once I don't know, you become my new best friend. So I want to introduce our friend Linda Malone from Davlin LLC. Davlin is a woman-owned minority firm that's been around since 2005. They're a firm that focuses on diversifying and working closely with employees in the workplace as well. They specialize in so many things. If you go on the website, they do a lot of work, and I'm really excited to hear more about them. But they're specializing in tree removal, brush and vegetation, cutting and removal, and also working with municipalities and city easements around the municipalities and areas here in Birmingham and surrounding counties. And I'm sure they probably do a lot of work statewide. So with that being said, I'm excited to hear more about the presentation on Davlin LLC from my friend and longtime, diva, Ms. Linda Malone.
Good
All right.
afternoon. Can
Good
you see me?
afternoon. Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you and Demetria for inviting me today. I do appreciate it. Davlin LLC is an environmental cleanup firm. We do a lots of things, like Alice says, anything to do with the environment, we're sort of involved in it. We take special care in where we live and where our people live. We have been in business since 2003. We started with the city of Birmingham, helping them clean up their vacant lots and that kind of thing. And we've progressed and grown. Right now, we participate in facility and ground maintenance, commercial pressure washing, storm cleaning, infrastructure repairs, water and wastewater repairs, anything to do with the earth we live on. We have something to do with taking care of it, making it safe for the rest of us. We, behind every good woman, there's a good man too. So all of these things I don't do alone. It's a family-owned business, and my husband, David, is my right and left hand. And I give many thanks to him. I do a lot of other things too, but I know y'all don't want to hear about all of that. But for UAB, and I know Alice and Demetria, they're the best things that ever happened to UAB and for entrepreneurs. And I've enjoyed hearing about all of the entrepreneurs. I'm really impressed with everyone.
So are you okay, you've got several other slides. You're going to continue to present those for us?
You know, I don't have my computer and I can't see that far. What does that size say?
Okay, well, there's a lot of your equipment that's on there. What looks like some really big machinery.
We have large contracts in Jefferson County, and we have to maintain 500 acres. So we need those bat wings and large equipment to maintain the facilities, because they have overgrowths and they have the pipes and sewer. I can't really see what is that saying?
Okay, it is a lot of pipes on the screen, so you're exactly right. I think there's another slide, if you don't mind going back one, that actually shows some of your capabilities. So you want to, you talked about asbestos removal is one thing. You can stop right there. There's information on your slide regarding your concrete services division. Do you want to talk a little more about that?
You're actually doing my slides for me. Thank you, Alex. I really can't see them, but you're right. We do concrete work. We do concrete slabs, driveways, walkways, foundation for homes. As like I said, we've been in business since 2003. So as the years have passed, we've grown in our knowledge. There's no point in staying static. So we grow, and the latest we've grown in is that I like is being asbestos specialists and supervisors. We can go in and see if you have asbestos and remove it as well. And we were certified at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Okay, yeah, that was definitely one of the services. Well, we definitely know that there's a lot going on. You want to go to the next two slides for us, Courtney? Okay. Yeah, and then your capabilities, you mentioned that there's a lot on your capability statement regarding companies you work with, manhole rehab, landscaping. I know you can't really see it all, but debris removal as well as storm relief. You want to share any insight on those?
I think you've done a great job with that. Because I'm that slide. But yes, we do all of those things. Our capabilities statement basically is a reverse, just what I've said to you previously. And if there's anything anybody wants to know, they can go on our website. At the end of the slides, you'll have the information where they can look and see what we do and contact us. Some of the things that we do are not on there, because as I told Demetrius, I haven't updated it in a few years, and she fussed, but it's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we have your contact information in our chat to talk about how to connect with DavlinLLC.com. We certainly appreciate your time today. We know that you are busy with all the work because everything's growing in Alabama. So now this is the time that people like yourself will be able to get some good things going. So thank you so much, Linda Malone. It's always a pleasure to see you and to have a chance to hear your laughter that you have.
I think, Alice, I'd like to share with you, is during Corona season, everybody had to flip the script and do different things. And we went into logistics during the Corona season, not season, but during the time of our pandemic. We had to switch over and do other things because everything else was laid off. So we started purchasing box trucks. So we do logistics across the state lines and in the state.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, we all had to pivot during that time, and certainly I hope that's something that continues to be successful for you. So thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Stick around because we want to hear from you in the session that we have this afternoon. All right, so what we're going to do at this point is that we have one last presenter in our supplier showcase. These presenters that you're hearing today, as you can already see, they're well qualified to do the business that they're doing. They can grow their business with UAB. Those of you who are on the line who work with UAB, we want you to have a chance to call these companies and have them to be part of this this supply chain that we have. So it's really important that you get their contact information, their number. We do have the digital book that has all their names in them. So we'll definitely we'll put that back into the chat for you as well. So this is a grand opportunity for you. So with that being said, I want to call to your attention a company you heard from earlier when you heard the very profound story of Acclinate and Dr. Smith. We're going to probably want to try to mute a little bit. Okay. So with Acclinate, there is a significant underrepresentation of racially and ethnically diverse people in clinical trials. They have decided that they're going to try to focus in this space very specifically and looking at the health disparity and inequality. So they believe that diversifying clinical trials will help to get more people of color in those trials to help them manage and have better knowledge about health issues. So I'm really excited to have Dr. Smith back again. I'm not sure if Tiffany Whitlow is going to be available, but we're going to have both of them to present to us this afternoon, and this will round out our final presentation in our supplier showcase.
Thank you so much, Alice. I appreciate that. It will be just me. My co-founder, Tiffany, is in our Huntsville office working there. So I'll be very brief because I know we want to stay on schedule. Acclinate is a trusted digital health company integrating culture and technology to source diverse participants for clinical trials. And as I mentioned before, if you were on earlier, our US population is about 40% minority and growing, yet only about 2 to 3% of clinical trial participants typically come from various minority groups. And we understand there's a long history of mistrust that exists there. To kind of partially explain why that is, right? When we mention things such as the Tuskegee study. So, you know, we are really kind of transforming the industry approach to this, which would typically go to you and do something like, hey, Alice, would you like to take part in a clinical trial? Which by many people would say, I'm not sure. And in particular, many people of minority groups would say, heck no, because they're thinking about the mistrust. So our approach is to go to Alice and say, hey, Alice, would you like to learn more about health-related issues that might impact you and your family? And as a result, we bring Alice into a community. This community is what we call Now Included. So actually, if you go to nowincluded.com, you can actually see the front-facing interface to some of the work that we're doing with building that community and the work that we're doing here in Alabama. Next slide, please, if you don't mind. So, you know, if we look at UAB in particular, you've got 142 actively enrolled clinical trials going on within the UAB system right now. Overall, for all those trials, you're looking at about 72,000 participants to be enrolled in those trials, right? And some of those trials are across the United States, and UAB is just one site for that. So we don't consider ourselves to be experts in clinical trial recruitment or running clinical trials. We are experts in educating and engaging communities of color on health-related issues. But it's because of that work, we've built a very significant network and database of diverse and willing participants who have opted to say they would like to take part in clinical trials. And so as a result, what we're able to provide to a principal investigator or a clinical trial coordinator at UAB or a pharmaceutical company or a contract research organization is the ability to access that network to be able to have more representative trials while at the same time reducing the time and the cost it takes to recruit participants for those trials. Next slide, please. And so we do have this technology that we've developed as well. We talk about integration of culture and technology. The culture is the trust building and the engagement in the communities. The technology is a system we've developed called EDIT, which stands for Enhanced Diversity in Clinical Trials. It's a HIPAA compliant platform, which uses machine learning and predictive analytics to help us determine who is most likely to take part in the trial if given an opportunity. So we're not just sending out a blast to all these people that say there's a trial to take part in. Our system's intelligent enough to know who to ask, when to ask, how to ask them to take part in the trial. So if there's a trial going on in Birmingham, for example, our system's smart enough not to go out to Seattle, Washington to pull a community member from Seattle, Washington to be in that trial and for that program. And you see some examples of some of our engagement and activity reports that we provide to the clinical trial sponsor or to the PI over the trial, so they can see the work that we're doing and how it equates to actually conversion, having people show up at their clinical trial enrollment site. Next slide, please. So I mentioned about Now Included. That's our front-facing interface. Again, nowincluded.com. If you're interested, you can see some of the work that we're doing on Now Included. I'm in my office here in Birmingham. This is our new headquarters, and you see kind of the backdrop here. We see our Now Included sign with pictures from people from around the community who are part of the Now Included network that we've developed. So I encourage you, anyone who's here who wants to be part of the Now Included community to get information about health that might be relevant to you, I encourage you to go on and sign up. Next slide, please. So just a little bit, last slide here. Let's talk about some of the things that we're doing. So we're currently have an office in DC. We're working with Johnson & Johnson Innovation Labs. They know about our platform, and they're working with us to help continue to develop our platform out so it can be used within the Johnson & Johnson family of companies. We're also part of BARDA's Blue Knight program. So BARDA is the Health and Human Services Biomedical Advanced Research Development Authority. We're one of 10 companies that BARDA has selected across the country to help prepare our country for the next pandemic. And I know it's not anything anybody wants to hear, but it's not a matter of if it happens, it's a matter of when. And so our country's trying to be better prepared for that. And our product and our platform and our approach is something that BARDA is investing in to move forward. So next slide, I think that's it. And that is Tiffany, our co-founder there in front of our office. And you see our contact information there. You can contact me at dale@aclinate.com or tiffany@aclinate.com. And we'd be more than happy to talk to anyone who's interested in how to use our platform and services to help increase the diversity of your trials at UAB and decrease some of the time and costs it takes to recruit. Thank you very much.
All right, so the question I had for you, and we'll charge these earbuds up during our break, is that Acclimate, you're filling a huge gap. So Dr. Smith, do you find that you've had a lot of competition in your industry as far as companies like yours trying to bring together this diverse population of individuals?
Well, everybody, Alice, wants to think that they have a unique approach and platform in their business. But what I can tell you is I think the reason that Johnson & Johnson Innovation Labs and BARDA is interested in us is because they haven't been able to identify a company that does the integration of the culture and the technology the way that we have. So we know how to engage in minority communities, and there are other entities that do that. I don't want to take away from them, but it's typically after using an advocacy and education and engagement platform, which is important. But what we do a little bit different is we're able to actually use data and use systems that we developed to where all that work in terms of building trust and engagement with those communities. We can take that data and do analytics with that data and then produce something that's of value to our clients, which is, the pharma or anybody running a trial. So we like to say we're the only company from what we've been able to see that does it that way. Of course, we know competition is coming. And so the way that we need to combat that is to grow and scale the business so we can either scare up that competition or win out when the time comes.
Okay. And we can sign up on your website to be a part of any of the clinical trials, or how best to do that?
Yeah, it really, at the end of the day, you're signing up on our website, not to necessarily be part of clinical trials, but just to be part of a community of like-minded individuals who are trying to take control and be empowered about their health. I share stories about my own health journey and the understanding and the knowledge I received from that. And so really Now Included is really kind of built with that idea of being able to come to a place and get knowledge about health-related issues that might be relevant to you. And whether you take part in the trial or not, that's irrelevant to us. Well, I'm gonna say it's relevant. That's not our primary objective, right? Because at the end of the day, we want people to be able to make informed decisions about whether they take part in any type of clinical trial participation. Our most important objective is to build trust within communities of color on issues related to health. So I encourage anybody to go there and sign up. And I put the link in the chat just in case anybody's interested.
Oh, super. Thank you so much. So there is a link in the chat called nowincluded.com, and there's information there regarding how to connect with Dr. Smith's company, Acclinate. And we also want to remind you that Dr. Corey Purdue has put another information in there regarding the giveaway that we're doing today for the $500 for 3 people. You have to go on while you're on the call today to be qualified for that. So at this time, we want to thank you for your attention. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been great. We've got more to come. The next part of our program goes into how you can get your business involved right now with UAB. The goal is for us to learn the process, be familiar with how to do it, and get ourselves ready for prime time. So that's coming up at 1 o'clock. So we're going to take a break for you to go and get a quick bite to eat, get some coffee or tea, and come back. We see you at 12:55. So keep everything on. We're going to keep this line open. And at 12:55, we'll start back with our presentation. At that point, you'll have a chance to select from 3 seminars. Seminar 1 will be purchasing, Seminar 2 would be construction, and Seminar 3 would be professional services. I see. Awesome, Jared. You're great. Thank you so much. You and Brianna are doing an incredible job and coordinating behind the scenes, and Juncture Corporation. Thank you so much for all what you guys are doing. But there is a link in there with the program booklet that you can actually see who's going to be presenting what session. So come back at 12:55. I will see you in a few moments, and you don't want to miss this. This is going to be an amazing opportunity to really, really get down to the brass tacks of how to make sure you learn how to do business right here in this environment. 12:55, see you in a moment. All right, so I think we're about to get started again. We actually are in a position where we are right on time, about 2 minutes. It's a little cold in the building, so I ran out to get some sunshine, and I enjoyed a little break for just a second. So we're excited you guys stuck around with us. We are so looking forward to it. So we have 3 sessions for you. And let me just share with you what they are. My earbuds in here. We have our Doing Business with University Purchasing, UAB Medicine, and UAB Health System, where Dr. Dale Smith is going to lead that as a facilitator with people from UAB Health System, UAB Medicine, and then of course 2 individuals from UAB Purchasing will be a part of that conversation. And then we also have construction, which will be led by Laura Brand, who will be facilitating that particular session, along with 2 individuals that she'll have on part of her team. She'll be introducing them. And then we also have professional services, which will be building a winning design team. Our friend Nalanda will also be Nalanda Hatcher. It'll be facilitated by Marcus Gaines, who's a project manager, planning and design and construction. So I think that at this point, there will be an opportunity for each facilitator. So I know I'm facilitating the first group. Demetria is facilitating a second group, and Tamika is facilitating group number 3. Okay, well, the order 2, 3, you know, the main thing we want to make sure that is that we know for sure that we are leading it. So you'll see one of the 3 of us in your session, which you'll get a chance to have us to be able to record the session, offer you a chat. Any kind of housekeeping will be done by either myself, Tamika in one of the sessions, and Demetria Scott. So we'll be able to help you from a facilitation standpoint to assist you during the process. So for those of you who are on the call right now, there are breakout rooms that they're putting together. These breakout rooms will allow you to go to the respective session that you want to go. So seminar 1 will be session 1 for purchasing. Session 2 would be construction, and session 3 would be professional services. So I think at this point, we were asking our tech team to put up the links to share with you how to get into each session, and also to open up the breakout room so you can choose which breakout you want to go to. Well, Demetria, I think it's all back to you. So while she's getting everyone back, I just want to say thank you for attending those breakout sessions. Very, very informative and impactful. I learned a lot in my session, so I'm excited to hear more about the next sessions as well, but they were all well attended.
Okay.
But I feel as we get started, we want to make sure we say a big super thank you for the vision that Demetria Scott has, and having her to be a part of this envision of this event years and years ago. So I just want to mute myself and let you finish talking, Demetria.
Very good. Again, thank you, Alice. Thank you to all the program participants. Thank you for the diverse businesses that were in here today, the UAB family, UAB Learning. Thank you so very much. If you have not downloaded the digital book, please download it so you can have it for reference. And if you need to contact us, we appreciate you taking time from your busy schedules today to be with us. Thank you so very much to our morning presenters, to our morning speakers, thank you. To our supplier showcase participants, thank you. To our seminar presenters, speakers, attendees, thank you. If you need us, call us, download the book, get our contact information, use us as your resource, and we're here for you. At this time, I would like to present to some and introduce to others Denton Lunsford, Assistant Vice President for Planning, Design, and Construction, for our closing remarks. Denton.
Thank you, Demetria. I think this was, you've said a lot of what I was going to say. A lot of it was going to be thanking everyone for the success of this this event today. It was called Making Business Opportunities Happen. And one way to do that is through relationships. And we can't have relationships without getting to know each other, and without these type of events like the one that Small Business Inclusion has put on today with the help of many others. And so I just wanted to again reiterate the thank you to Tony, Tamika, and Demetria for putting on, and Ms. Holloway, you did a great job of running the thing. This has been, I think it's been a successful event today. Learned a lot about the businesses that presented, and for the vendors who presented, the breakout sessions, leaders and participants, everyone did a fantastic job. So I just want to say thank you, and also say that so take a minute to go to your reactions button there on the bottom right and give a hand for SBI and Ms. Holloway and everybody that put this together, if you would. And then I'll just say, let's keep this conversation going. Like Demetria said, reach out to us in any way that we can help. PDNC is here to help as well. I believe y'all may have my information. I'll be glad to put my information in the chat as well, at least my email address, and you guys can reach me there. And I would say let's keep the conversation going. Thanks again to everybody.
Let's make some business opportunities happen.
That's right.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.